We are live. We are ready to go. Shout out to everybody that's going to be making it into the building, whether you're catching it live right now, or whether you're catching it after it's uploaded. Make sure you hit that like button. About to be getting into this topic, going to be going over a clip that I saw. I'll just give the pre-thoughts on it before I roll the intro, because we're in a time where, yes, times have changed. Okay. Women are freer than ever. They're more sexually free than ever. So, yes, it's true that men have had to make some adjustments. We've had to make some adjustments. But I don't think we're supposed to just take a whole knee. We're not supposed to just take a knee on first down. We're going to be going over a video of a brother who takes a knee on first down. But either way it go, let's get ready to go. Let's get ready to rock. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mumia Obsidian Ali. You know who I am. I need no introduction, right? And you're listening to the Grown Man Hour with my man Bernard Riley, heard weekdays right here on YouTube. What do you think about that? How about that? Now let's get back on with the show. Thank you.
What's up, good people? What's up, good people? We are back in the building, live and direct. Let me do a little something real quick. Let me pull it up so I can click on it, so I can follow along with the chat room, because it's easier for me to see what y'all doing in the chat when I pull it up on my little tablet here. But everything is moving slow. But either way it go, what's going on? Shout out to the early bird squad, those that make it in before we even get things started. I appreciate each and every one of you that come through, drop those early comments. My little tablet ain't working right. It just ain't gonna work right today. But either way it goes, shout out to each and every one of you. Appreciate everybody in the building. We got Jay Monta in the building. Alpha Male Honesty, aka well, Alpha Male Honesty with Tobias. I was about to call you Tobias, but it's right there in the name. So it's cool. Tobias in the building. That brother's been on my channel, a channel member. Make sure y'all go check that brother out. Make sure y'all check him out. Got Uneducated Lame, one of the coolest names in all of Black YouTube. Uneducated Lame in the building. Shout out to you. Shout out to Devin D. Shout out to Just Being Jazzy's podcast, Clips and Crafty Ideas. That is a long name. That's a long name, but shout out to her. She says, "Hey, good morning, Bernard. Good morning to you." It says, "Hey" to the chat and drop some hearts in here. John Doe, I think that's supposed to be John Doe or Dukes or Dokes, who knows, in the building. Shout out to you. Probably single mom raised men. That argument don't work for me when we throw that out there so recklessly. Probably this single mother raised man. I mean, I always pull up the stats. Most of us fall in that category. I almost fall in that category, even though my mom, she got my stepdad when I was in the 7th grade, and he had an effect on my life. Yes, he did. Yeah, he did. But my mom and my dad, they weren't together, and my dad died when I was young. He was out there in them. Okay, I ain't even about to get into it, but he got shot in the 80s when a lot of people was getting shot in the 80s. So that happened, and so yeah. So for a portion of my life, yeah, I was single mother raised. A lot of us was. It's no getting around that. So I don't like to just throw that out there recklessly and say probably some single mother raised when most of us was. Even if our dad was in our life, he wasn't solely in our life. Unless your mom and dad was married and or just together living under the same roof, he had he had an uncle dad type of role. And there's some people who okay with that. And they think that, hey, as long as he's involved, I mean, there's some data that shows as long as he's involved, it helps. But if he's there 10% of the time, kid don't turn out right, it's 100% his fault. Even though per the court ordered schedule that the mother fought for, he could only be there 10% of the time. But it's 100% his fault. So I caution people to not just immediately go there. Man, what is wrong with this tablet? Okay, hold on. We on to something. It's almost about to work for me. Hold on. There we go. All right, we almost working here. I'm like an old person with this technology. But shout out to Alpha Male Honesties with Tobias saying get the likes up. Lawrence. Ooh, I can't even tell what that is. It's 2 I's and a T. Ratano. Shout out to you. Shout out to Good Men. Shout out to Before the Billions in the building. Shout out to you. Love that one-on-one that we did. I meant to change the title of it. I think I believe that was your mother that pulled up in my in the comment section. She didn't say nothing crazy, but I did come to the conclusion after talking to you that title didn't seem exactly accurate. So I do plan on changing that. I just forgot to. Draper Gents in the building says, "Good morning, brother. Keep up the great work." Snuggles KD, my man KD in the building. Shout out to KD. Shout out to David. Shout out to John Dokes once again. Darth Low trademark. He says, "Damn it, Snuggles. What did Snuggles do? Snuggles didn't do nothing for you to say, damn it." Well, let me read this. I may change my mind. Bernard, we are here for you. Let it out. We are listening. Do not fight the feelings. We will not send you or turning you. Just tell us. Let it out. Damn it, Snuggles. Whoever said damn it, Snuggles, they were right. You were right. You were right, Dr. Low trademark. You were right when you said damn it, Snuggles. You were absolutely well in bounds to say that. She deserved it.
Hi, I'm Snuggle. Snuggly softness. That's really less expensive.
She deserved it. Somebody said he got picked on for having a dad. God damn. Shout out to Dapper Gents in the building. Just became a channel member. Shout out to Dapper Gent in the building. Oh, my waves on point today. I had to give myself a little. Had to edge it up. I cut my own hair. I'm going bald in a couple spots, but I'm hanging in there. The soldiers on the battlefield, they fighting a good fight. I'm almost 40. I still got a hairline. Had to line it up fresh. It's been looking sloppy the last couple days, but we in here. We in here. Shout out to Ricky Manor in the building, Geek Surgeon. All right, Dane C. Shout out to Dane C. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody. All right, we about to get in. Hold on. I hadn't heard two different people said that. Got picked on for having a dad? What? Got picked on for having a dad by my dad. The statement doesn't make sense. I got picked on for having a dad by my dad. This statement doesn't make any sense. If you're just trying to say you got picked on for your dad being in your life, I find that fascinating. I mean, growing up, there was a couple of people who I shouldn't say a couple. There were kids who I remember dads were in their life. They didn't get picked on. At least not for that. Okay, this is a weird thing. And I just now realized this. The kids who had their dads growing up, we viewed them as softer. That is fascinating. I think it was because they had more structure and they wasn't able to just wake up in the morning and just be outside running the streets till the damn street lights come on. So they weren't necessarily as rough, tough, and wild as us. So we viewed them more as, on the softer side. I just now thought about that. That's worthy of a whole stream. That the kids who had, their dad in their life, they were in the house more. They didn't come out and play as much. And when we was out there just wild and rough and doing crazy stuff and climbing on top, it was a nursing home that we used to, I don't know how we used to climb on top of that nursing home. We used to be running on top of the nursing home, jumping off of it. Those of us that could do backflips, climbing high up on stuff to see. I couldn't do backflips, but climbing up on, see who could do a backflip from the highest distance. We were about to break our neck. We all, 40 feet up in the air, climbing trees, doing all kind of crazy stuff. And I just now realized, getting in all kind of trouble and stuff, but I just now realized that the ones who had dads in their lives, yeah, they weren't doing all that crazy. They weren't doing the crazy stuff with us, and we viewed them as it's funny, we viewed them as mama's boys. But looking back at it, they just had a more structured life. They just couldn't be out there wild running the streets like us. That's interesting. I never thought about that. The kids that had a dad in their life, we viewed them as soft. But I guess maybe it was because it was two incomes in that house. Their house was an actual house. We was living in like some little apartments. They had an actual house with a swimming pool. They had more structure. Their family was an actual family. When we did hang out with them, like on we would be over their house, and it was a different experience. It was a different experience. I must say that. And then around around the time that my mom got married, and she she didn't get married, but we moved in with the stepdaddy. Man, they still married to this day. He did the stepdaddy dance. We moved in with him, and then they eventually got married. The kids next door to me, mom and dad together. Kid down the street that we played ball with. That wasn't his biological dad, but his mom remarried and had a daughter with the man that she remarried. So I mean, it looked from the outside looking in, it looked like your normal traditional household, but that wasn't his biological dad. And it was a lot of other. I'm sitting there thinking of everybody on my street, because I guess we moved into a neighborhood where, middle class black people live. This was about around the time I was in the 7th grade. Middle class black people. And by middle class, I'm looking at my stepdad and my mom. My mom, was like a manager in the housekeeping department at the hotel, probably made about 30K. My stepdad was a construction worker, made about 60K. They probably combined for about 90K, scraped 100K on a good year. And that was, we were middle class. And so it was probably a similar situation where with the other kids in that neighborhood, other black kids in the neighborhood that I played ball with, they had families with 2 parents in it, and wasn't exactly in the hood. Now, we weren't that far away from the hood. I mean, we can get in our car and drive 5-10 minutes and be back in the hood, but we didn't live in the hood, if you understand what I'm saying. It was about a good 8-minute drive from it. But but either way, yeah, it was a completely different thing, completely different neighborhood when black people get together, get married, and try to raise kids in a normal-ish environment. It was a completely different feeling, completely different experience. And I noticed that. I noticed that big time. And I saw that, but I never thought about it. I noticed it when I was in the 7th grade and old enough to analyze it, because I was, about 13 years old. When I got to the point about 13, I could really analyze it and see the difference. And see the big difference through and through. But when I was younger, I'm talking, 1st, 2nd, 3rd grade, in that age range, I wasn't analyzing the kids who had their father in their life in the house. I wasn't analyzing that like that. And it's so crazy. I just had an epiphany that we viewed them as soft and sheltered, but they probably wasn't. They just wasn't some wild kids. They just got to go run the streets all damn day. Interesting stuff. But y'all saying that y'all got picked on. See, we didn't pick on them, though. They probably felt picked on. They got picked on for other reasons. They got picked on because everybody got picked on. My son got picked on. Shout out to TBE Trucking. My son got picked on in school for how he talked, and because we were middle class. Now he is in the military, U.S. Navy. Yeah. I can't remember picking on nobody for how they talked. I started speaking. I didn't. It was probably I don't know when. Hell, I could have got picked on for the way I talked, but I started speaking more proper, more correct English later in life. Like, not later in life, but I was probably high school by the time I started cleaning up the way I talked, because somewhere along the way I figured out that I didn't want to just sound like an ignorant ninja. I figured that out, and I just started cleaning up how I talked. It was a decision to do it. It was literally a decision. I decided that when I was probably right around the time I was in I think the summer of going to the 9th grade. It was playing AAU basketball. We had stopped at some place out in the middle of nowhere, some all white place, and it was a bunch of teenage boys. We stopped in there to get some McDonald's. We went into McDonald's, and we in there just talking junk. After the game, we just chopping, we kicking it up, and every other word coming out our mouth is I'm going to mess up my algorithm. Just nigga this, nigga that, nigga, and it's just nothing but white folks in there. And so the coach is sitting back just watching. He just listening. He just listening to us just talking very, 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 very niggerish, and we just sitting there doing that. And then, damn, E Black, just look at the title in the thumbnail. I'm gonna get to it. Shit. Shout out to E Black. Somebody been promoting this channel, man. Y'all go check him out. I did a good one-on-one with him. He do good work over there. But damn, calm down. So we in the coach, when we got back on the bus and he explained to us, he's like, if any white person in there would have said that, would have been talking the way y'all was talking, y'all would have been ready to fight. Y'all would have been up in arms. Y'all would have felt disrespected. Y'all would have felt all kind of stuff. But there y'all are. Y'all, every stereotype that they think of y'all was in that McDonald's acting like it. And that was true. That was like the first time somebody really explained that to me. And I was like, dang, we was in there acting like we didn't have no home training at all. And then that's when I pumped the brakes and, didn't completely modify the way that I act, but I was just conscious about it. I was just conscious that, all right, we live in this damn world, okay? We can't that whole mentality. You see how some black people they'll walk into a place and I saw a white dude actually joking. It was funny. He said black people don't have an indoor voice. They don't have a difference between know the difference between outside and inside. They just talk the same either way. So as funny as that was, it was some truth to it. So I'm not saying that we gotta, censor everything about ourselves. No, we can be who we are, but that's part of what made me I don't know. It changed the way I look at things. A basketball coach of all people really changed the way that I look at things and the way the way I interact with the world. It made me realize that hold on, you can shape your own world based off how you move through it and how you conduct yourself and the things you do. So that's where I got a little I don't know. Became a little more formal and proper and stopped acting niggish. But Dr. Low Trademark says my writing is proper, but my speech ain't. I understand that too. There's a lot of people like that. But all right, let me get on to it. It was a little ramble that somebody posted a comment that got me off subject. So I wasn't even on the subject yet. But somebody said Coach Carter. No, you wouldn't know Coach Carter, but yeah. but anyway, y'all hit that like button. We about to get into it. Y'all see the title, y'all see the thumbnail, y'all see what's going on there. Let me pull up a quick screen share. Oh, that ain't it. Well, okay, I can do that anyway. What in the hell? Oh, damn. Hopefully, okay, that camera is unplugged or kicked out or something. I don't know why that camera is turning off now. That's interesting. All right, we about to get this thing started. About to get on to it. 145 people in here. Make sure y'all hit the like button. And here we go. I feel halfway bad calling this man a proud simp in the title because I don't like to be dropping insults in the title like that. I like to have a sensible conversation. But I ended up taking a shot. Ended up taking a shot in the title. I may change that. But either way, let's get into it. I want y'all to hear this. It's a real short clip, 30 minutes long, but it's going to spark a good conversation. So let's get ready to go. 150 in the building. Let's go. Where we at? Damn it, I can't find. All right.
The reason why I don't care about a woman's past, a woman can say she had 25, 35 sexual partners. I don't care about all that. They don't intimidate me because I always say the version of her that I'm going to get, no man has ever had. Because I know how to cultivate that woman. Oh, boy, you preaching. I know how to provide something in your life that no man has ever been able to provide. True. I know how to extract and cultivate something out of you that no man has been able to cultivate out of you. The reason why I don't care about
there it is. So what's wrong, Charles Merchant? Is he tripping or something? What's okay? We got Leo Lyon. What you got a problem with what he said? Rod of God. You said sloppy fours. No, he said 35. It's sloppy 30. That's sloppy 35ths. That ain't sloppy seconds. That's sloppy 45ths. Man. Simp level 9,000. E-Black feeling what he said, low key. E-Black TV low key feeling what he said. We ain't gonna out you today, E-Black. We ain't gonna do that to you, but E-Black low key feeling that. If she look like Amber Rose, E-Black like, hey. Oh man, I couldn't even go right in. I had to just play it and just sit back and let it breathe. had to let it breathe for a minute. Couldn't even just go right in. And it's the cosign for me. Shout out to Ride of God podcast down there. But yeah, man. Yeah. Okay. Look, like I said in the pre ramble when I was, when I was getting let's put that on the screen that she had 25, 35 sexual partners. let's put that part on the screen right there. But no, check. Here's the thing. Okay, one, he said the whole thing. I'm not intimidated by that. Okay. I hate that's just for starters. I hate that argument when they make it seem like a man having some type of issue with a woman's sexual past, that there's an intimidation thing. It's like they try to figure out a way to emasculate men when men find any fault in the things that women do. If a woman makes a lot of money and she has a bad attitude that comes with it, and she thinks she don't gotta listen to you, don't gotta do what you say, don't gotta follow your lead, don't gotta, if she just on some free spirited, BS, and she ain't really getting on board with whatever you trying to get on board with, and you just like, nah, I'm good on a woman that's making a lot of money if it's going to come if it's going to come with some disrespect. If you think that gives her the ability to disrespect me in any way, shape, or form, I'm not messing with her. A man makes that argument, and a lot of men have made that argument very, very clear. But the counter argument to that is to try to emasculate the man, say that, oh, you're just intimidated by that woman that makes a lot of money. Women, they always try to say, even if a man just ain't feeling them, just don't want to approach them, don't want to talk to them, don't want to get with them, don't want to be with them, they're intimidated by me. So whenever they throw in that word intimidate, it's because they're trying to, in some way, shape, or form, trying to basically depict a man as less masculine for finding any fault in women, finding any fault in what women do. He's somehow less of a man. Because he's intimidated by a woman. But no, he could just be acknowledging that she's an out-of-pocket bitch and I don't want to be with her. Don't mean he's intimidated. All right? Don't mean he's intimidated. Shout out to Checkmate. He said, why would a man be intimidated by a woman that almost every good one. Good one. I'm still in that. Why would a man be intimidated by a woman that so many guys have had? Why is he scared to boldly go where many men have gone before? Like, why would he be scared of that? Okay. Why? What reason? What reason do he have to be afraid of that? Marry before you finish college if that number is too high. He's 30 plus. That number is not that bad for that age. It's some truth in that. Okay. And that's one thing that I want to get to. And I've said this before. If a woman started having sex at 15, and let's just say that she has 30 sexual partners under her belt, okay? That's 2 per year, okay? Freshman and sophomore year in college, she probably banged out 10 per year. That's a couple boyfriends and a couple flings after college. Yeah, she's creeping up on 30. Yeah. That's true. That's a cold, hard reality. That is a cold, hard reality that we got to look at. that we got to average into the equation. There's no getting around that. There's no getting around that with most modern Western women. That is a cold, hard piece of reality. Uh, Nobody can really argue or fight against that. So I'm about to get into that. I'm about to get into that because it's not that reality exists. It's the, as I said in the little pre-ramble, it's the taking a knee. Okay, it's the I don't care with her. It's that trying to make an excuse. Okay, you don't have to make some convoluted, contrived argument about how you're going to get more out of her, because really all you're saying is that I'm I'm going to do all this cultivating of her. I'm going to extract out of her a type of woman that she's never been for another man. No, she was easier for other men. And you're going to work harder to extract this better woman out of her, which means you're doing more to get what somebody else got for cheaper. So whatever it is you think you're getting out of her, I mean, that's like a weak consolation prize. That's a weak consolation prize. So my problem is that, yes, we can acknowledge that these women it's a new ball game. It's a new ball game out here. Like I said, if they go to college, freshman, sophomore year in college, a lot of them are liable to pick up 10 bodies each year. They got 20 going into their junior year. Going forward after that, from 20 to 30, if they just have a couple boyfriends and a few and some flings, they gonna be closing in on 30 bodies under their belt by the time that they're 30. That is a reality. And that's why I always said a lot of men, whether they enunciate it like me or not, a lot of men have just got to the point, okay, don't have a reputation that follows you around. Don't be pregnant. Don't be scarred by it. I mean, don't show up with another man's kids. Don't show any visible emotional scars from it. You know, and don't have a public reputation of some sort. And most men are good with it. Because truth be told, she could tell you 3, she could tell you 30. You really don't know if she's lying. It could be 90. So that's where most people have moved to when it comes to this thing. Don't have a reputation, don't show up with another man's kids. That's where most people have moved to. But that you're basically embracing the slut walk and saying, I don't care completely. Do whatever you want to do. Be whatever trashy, potentially disease infested type of chick, do whatever you want to do. Here I am, a good, decent, solid man who's going to treat you better than you deserve, make you be a better woman than what you have been. Like, no, that's not an acceptable answer. That's not an acceptable response, to just full blown take a knee and encourage it. Like, no, we can acknowledge that, yeah, it's embedded in men. Yeah, we feel some type of way about being committed in a long-term relationship with a woman who has a public sexual past that people know about. Yeah, we feel some type of way about that. We can't help that. We can't help that. You could try to inception us with new ideas. Okay, it may work. I mean, it's clearly worked for some. It's clearly worked for him, but it's not going to work for most. Just like women, they like taller men. And they're hardwired to like taller men. The taller man looks bigger. He looks stronger. He looks like a better protector. But in this modern day and age, guns are the ultimate equalizer. And a better neighborhood that a man can put you in is a more protection than somebody being tall with muscles. But they're going to respond to their hardwiring. They're going to respond to that. And they're going to still want the taller guy, regardless of how we argue. Okay. We know how that works. We've had a lot of talks about this. In the wild, the lion, he kills the youth from the previous alpha male who was having sex with all the women. Men, we're hardwired to want to know that that's our kid. If a woman has a reckless, wild sexual past, that means our hardwiring is telling us that we don't know. So even if we just be like, nah, she's a hoe, but really, I mean, it's built in it. It's hardwired into us through years of evolution that to want to be the only one who's mating with this woman. Because the only reason we get horny because that's our genes telling us to go and reproduce. So we can try to logic our way out of why we shouldn't feel any type of way about a woman being fast, but it is hardwired into us, and we have to really change some programming to get out of that mindset. We got to change some programming to get out of that mindset. And a lot of us ain't willing to do it. I'm not willing to do it, but where I have moved the needle on, is don't have a public reputation. You can't show up with a bunch. You can't be a single mama, a baby mama showing up with a bunch of kids. If you got a clean, clear reputation, no kids following you, then you can be considered for long term. But anyway, the naked truth with a net world views in the building says, but Bernard, how do you confirm how many previous partners? I just explained that. You can't confirm that. But Bernard, how do you confirm how many previous partners a person, male or female, have had? Is there a speedometer or counter asking for a friend? No, there is no way to confirm that. That's why reputation and how you carry yourself ends up being far more important than the actual number, because the actual number can be a lie. There's no way of knowing. So wherever you put that number at, if you say 10 is too high, how do you know that she went over 10? If you say 50 is too high, how do you know she kept it under 50? You don't know. Nobody knows. So that has to be made very clear in these conversations. Very clear. We got my man Sir Tice in the building. Shout out to Sir Tice. You know what's one part funny, ironic, and cap Bernie in chat? Her past doesn't matter, allegedly. Something she participated in, mind you, but slavery trauma, fake narratives does. Make it make sense. That's true. Black folks will reach all the way back to slavery and talk about genetic memory and how we're affected by that and blah, 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 blah. But we're going to say that her emotional well-being, stability, or ability to attach or commit herself to one man isn't affected by her very, very recent past of being out there having sex with a lot of different men. Yeah. The only thing I just got to acknowledge is that you don't know. That's the only thing that's where I'm at with it. That's the undefeated point in all of this, is that you just don't know. Okay? You don't know. But yeah, if a woman had sex with 100 men before the age of 25, and then she decides she want to settle down, sit down somewhere and get married, I do think that her level of commitment to that guy will, I mean, one could argue she got her slut phase out the way. That's truthfully what this dude is talking about. I'm gonna play the clip again because I see we got some new people in here. That's truthfully what this dude is talking about. He's talking about getting with a woman who got her whole phase out the way, but that's a whole nother story. But anyway, damn it, I was about to make a point. I'll circle back to it if I remember. Leo Anthony in the building. He says you can't turn a 304 into a housewife, and even if you do it, I think he was saying even if you do, it won't play out well for the guy in the long run. No, you shouldn't be, and that's my biggest problem with what the dude said. That's my biggest problem with what the dude says. That yes, we live in a new world, and yes, men have had to make some adjustments to this new world that we live in. But if you say you don't care to the point of where you're practically saying it's okay, you're going to encourage that reckless behavior. You're going to encourage women being sexually promiscuous. You're basically encouraging more women showing up with kids, more women showing up more out of weight, more women showing up potentially with STDs. If you're going to encourage that and be like, yeah, high five, go do your thing, 'cause I'm gonna pull something out of you that no man has ever pulled out of you. If you start saying all this stuff that this dude is saying, once you start saying that, what you're doing is you're encouraging behavior that ultimately creates a tainted pool of women. All right. Now, there's two things here. If you're all about just staying single and casual and pumping and dumping in your MGTOW, and then I think that this ain't necessarily your conversation. Or you could be just single and, pumping and dumping in MGTOW, and because modern women are the way they are, so you feel like it ain't the risk, it's a risk reward ain't worth it, so you just figure you just gonna keep it casual. A lot of women have made it clear that they on some keep it casual until they can't no more, so you just gonna keep it casual indefinitely. Whatever, that's cool. But a lot of times this conversation is more so for the dudes who are in a situation where no, they don't got kids and they would like a family. But to say to those men that they should completely just take a knee and fully embrace the slut walk, basically, it's like, no, that's not the acceptable answer. That is not the acceptable answer. My man Friedman's Journal in the building says, I have a cousin that is an adult version, and you would not be shocked by this information. There is no way to know the truth, but 304s are obvious. Yeah, some of them are obvious and they wear it on their sleeves. That is true. That is true. Some of them are very obvious and wear it very obviously on their sleeves. Mr. Tobert in the building says, paying dues, keep up the stimulating topics. Salute. Absolutely, absolutely. But we about to look at something here. We about to have some fun with this. Let me make this bigger so hopefully y'all can see it. I want to remove Mr. Tobert's super chat off of the screen. All right. Where we at? I'm trying to get here. I love it when okay, now hold on. Let me okay, this is why I just put simp in the title. Okay. This YouTube channel is called, I don't know if y'all could see that. Let me make y'all help me help y'all see that. This YouTube channel is called Dear Future Wifey. Okay. Dear Future Wifey. Tell me you're pandering without telling me you're pandering. I just wanted to point that out. That's what this YouTube channel is called. Dear Future Wifey. Okay. Because this man really wants to be married. He really, really does. And I don't mean to call out Mr. Let Go, but because I listened to his back and forth with Kendra G, and she was halfway right when she was like, dude, if you wanted to be married so bad, you would be married. I mean, here you are, you're a man, you counsel women for a living, you got thousands of female subscribers who you talk to, who reach out to you. She's like, you're not bad looking, and you have an endless pipeline of women who from the line of work that you're in, you got a constant endless pipeline of potentials. So if you really wanted to be married or even in a relationship, you would be in a relationship. So it was sort of like yeah. She called him out on the pander. I was about to do some content on it, but even though she was mad disrespectful in some ways, in many ways she was right. He wasn't up there looking for love or looking for no relationship or looking for this or looking for that. No, I think he was legit trying to promote his shit. It is what it is. She has a lot of women in her audience. He trying to get those women over to his audience, but he calling up on that. I'm looking for love, and I'm looking like, no, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. You happy. I think even Ace Metaphor admitted, I don't want to throw Ace Metaphor under the bus, even though I don't mind because he is a Derek Jackson type. But either way it go, I think he admitted that, he did admit that he was basically outslaying him in his yeah, him being in the line of work that he was in put a lot of women in front of him. So he was out slaying them. So when dudes like that talking about love and how they want to get married and how they this and how they that, and they got a pipeline of hundreds of thousands of women like that, I'm like, dude, you ain't trying to get married. You out there slaying and slawing. Cut it out. Cut it out. So that's why that's why I didn't even do no content on Kendra G on Kendra G and Mr. Lego. I saw Ed do it, and Ed did talk about the disrespect. And yeah, she was mad disrespectful. She was, but either way it go, even though she was disrespectful, I do think she was right. You know, it's like, you can't be a Derek Jackson type saying I'm just really out here just trying to find the one that one special one that like, no, dude, cut it out. Cut it out. So I'm saying all that to say that the pander is so strong out the gate that his YouTube channel is called Dear Future Wifey. You can't get more cringe than that. But one thing that I absolutely love, I love when I look at the comment section of channels like this, because listen, let me make this point very clear before I get into these comments. People be trying to charge the manosphere up with simping. I've heard people call it the simposphere. Like, no, these type of dudes are the real simps who are online. Cut it out. we know what simps look like. We've seen them. Okay, we know what the pandersphere really look like. It's these dudes. We know that. Like, come on. Like, I wanted to make that point very clear. But let me get into these comments here, because I love when the comment section lets the content creator have it when they be on that nonsense. Damn, I lost the comments. Hold on. I absolutely love it. All right, homeboy says okay, let me play the clip. Let me play the clip one more time for those that didn't see it, so y'all know what I'm talking about.
The reason why I don't care about a woman's past, a woman can say she had 25, 35 sexual partners. I don't care about all that. They don't intimidate me because I always say the version of her that I'm going to get, no man has ever had. Because I know how to cultivate that woman. Oh, boy, you preaching. I know how to provide something in your life that no man has ever been able to provide. True. I know how to extract and cultivate something out of you that no man has been able to cultivate out of you. The reason why I don't care about
we got to do one more time with that.
The reason why I don't care about a woman's past, a woman can say she had 25, 35 sexual partners. I don't care about all that. They don't intimidate me because
nobody is intimidated. Shout out to I forgot who that was in the chat. Shout yourself out, whoever said, why would a man be intimidated by a woman who's been with who's every man has been with? Why would you be intimidated? Why would you be intimidated about boldly going where many men is going before? Why would you be intimidated by that? So nobody's intimidated.
I always say the version of her that I'm going to get, no man has ever had.
Yeah, because you caught her after her whole phase. So yeah, you're right. Nobody has ever had her after her whole phase. So yeah, you're right. They had her when she was hoeing and they got her for cheaper. But okay.
Because I know how to cultivate that woman. Oh, boy, you preaching. I know how to provide something in your life that no man has ever been able to provide. True. I know
which means you know how to do more for her than what other men had to do to get her. That don't mean that you're doing something special. That means you're choosing to do more for her than what other men had to do to get her. Which means you're in a very measurable, tangible way beneath them.
How to extract and cultivate something out of you that no man has been able to cultivate out of you.
Okay.
The reason why I don't care about a woman.
All right. Now let's go to the comment section. I love it when the comment section don't be going for it when we see videos like this. Okay, I'm not calling out their names anyway. He says he thinks the version of her he'll get depends on him and his actions. Sadly mistaken. There's another person that says it's hilarious when people preach and think they're being so insightful. was saying dumb shit like this. Somebody else says he is delusional. A man cares about a woman's past. A woman cares about a man. No, a man cares about a woman's past. A woman cares about a man's future. Very well said. I love when the manosphere gets in here. Okay, look, hey. He quoted Fresh and Fit there. He put a F in F in there. A man cares about a woman's past. A woman cares about a man's future. That's why I said Fresh and Fit are valuable to the cause. They are. They're getting the word and the message out there on a mass scale. Everybody stop hating on them. Yes, they have their flaws, but they are getting the word out on a mass scale, flaws and all. Shout out to hey, look at that immediately. Somebody just came right back in and says they are frauds, talking about Fresh and Fit. They have waited, measured, and been found wanting. Okay. Fresh and Fit gain, resist the slave mind. All right. Translation. Okay, here's somebody else responding to the video. Translation. I'm a desperate simp that settles for low value females with virtually no dignity. Period. Boom. Because that's really what you're saying. You don't build yourself up and become this great man and just make that many concessions to women who just been reckless. You don't do it. You don't do it. Okay, this couple sitting there like he's preaching. You can't cultivate anything without it wanting to be cultivated. I agree. That's why I don't like to listen to people who just like to talk. They can say anything and it sounds woke. Man, wow, the delusion just get stronger and stronger. Preach those delusions. Right on. He says, Sure Jan. Okay, I don't know what he's saying right there. Always comes to my head when people say stuff like this. If you don't want to judge a woman by her past, that's fine. But his reason is built off his ego of who he think he is. Now that is what I call a high level simping. I extracted some laughs from this video. I extracted some laughs from this and shared it to the homies so they can cultivate some laughs too. The male version of I'm different or I'm the exception. This is for all you aspiring simps out there. Take notes so you can be a living and breathing placeholder like this guy. Damn. I know what I've got when it's past 200K miles mentally. It's crazy how he makes simping sound smart. LMAO. Refresh. And as a woman came through, refreshing take. So true. Here they go. Oh, hell no. You a whole simp. No way. Just when I thought I had seen it all. So if she had 35, here, this is a woman. So if she had 35 to 40 sexual partners, what does she have to offer him that makes him special? A woman's chastity used to be treasured for a reason. Yeah. Look, we live in a modern time. Women are having sex. Women are having a lot of casual sex. But no, we should not take a knee and just talk as if there's no difference between the one who haven't been around blocks, like a woman that I met that said listen. I had sex with a condom on with a woman who said her body count was up in the 300s. She didn't say she'd been around the block a few times. She said she'd been around blocks. And she had several kids. Okay. We're not about to take a knee and pretend like that woman is equally valuable out on the market. She's valuable as a human, a living, breathing human being with God-given inalienable rights, blah, 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 blah. But far as what men want on the market, we not about to pretend. We not about to pretend like a woman who's been around blocks, got a body count in the 200s, and got several kids is no different than a woman who had sex on prom with her high school boyfriend, had sex with two boyfriends in college, and married one of them. We're not going to pretend like to that the second guy she had sex with in college when he met her in college and they got married sometime after college. We're not going to pretend like she's like that woman that he found wasn't infinitely more valuable than than the woman that I was just talking about that had 300 bodies on her belt. We can acknowledge we can acknowledge that yes, it's times are changed. Women are free. And there's no way of knowing exactly, but we're not about to pretend like it's no difference from the hoe and the non-hoe. We're not about to pretend like it's no different. If somebody said I did the ODBO dirty bastard, no, I did not go in raw. I was a pretty consistent condom wearer. Even though a lot of us slip up, and I'll plead guilty to this. When you and a woman have had sex so many times, and then you know, after y'all have had sex so many times, and y'all waking up in the morning together, and then some spontaneous sex jump off, and then so sometimes that spontaneous sex happens without a condom. It does, and that's reckless. That's reckless. But for the most part, I was a pretty consistent condom user when I was out there. I was. But yeah, where we at? We 55 minutes in here. We almost 1 hour in. I'm gonna drop the link so y'all can give y'all thoughts on this. So y'all can give y'all thoughts on this video, this channel that I just found. I may be doing a lot of response and reaction videos to this. I don't know. Derek Jackson is back on the scene. I know Derek Jackson he didn't let it die down a while. He probably back saying full blown crazy stuff. I haven't watched any Derek Jackson videos in a while. But when I saw this Dear Future Wifey, it was just like, oh man, I know this is I know it's gonna be some bombshells being dropped in this one. I automatically knew that this one was going to this one was going to take the cake. I knew immediately that this one was definitely going to take the cake. What's condom? Hold on. What's condom? Is that short for condominium? Okay, this dude don't wear condoms. Yeah, okay. Keep on. You better be 20 years into a marriage. That better be your only excuse for not strapping up out here. That better be your only excuse for not strapping up. Where we at? Looking at some things, dotting some I's, crossing some T's. But the link is in the chat room. Stoic One in the building. Shout out to Stoic One. Bernard read the title and saw dollar sign. I don't know where you got dollar signs out of that. But well, I mean, if I do, I may end up doing a lot of content on him. So yeah, I don't got a problem making money off of simp. I don't got a problem. No shame in my game. I'll make reaction videos to the Panda Bears all day. I do that to the cows come home, to the fat lady sing. I'll never quit that game. I'll do a reaction video to the Panda Bears all day. You just couldn't be more of an. It blows me away how, like, they couldn't be a more obvious pander. There's no more obvious pander than to say that the name your YouTube channel Dear Future Wifey. Like, how long do you like, the name of that channel is predicated on him not finding the wife, just pandering to her, because he had to change it from Dear Future Wifey. If you find a wife, then what you gonna call the channel? Well, okay, you could rebrand the channel, whatever, but you could rename it. But Dear Future Wifey, I'm like, come on. Come on, the pandering is just too strong with that one. The pandering is just way too strong with that one. Way too strong. But shout out to you. Hold on, let me double check, make sure I'm dropping the link the correct way, because nobody's coming up. I'll shut it. I'll shut it down. I will shut it down. Indigenous TV, steak dinner. Or some voice. Somebody, that one chick, Amira, that be on the Lapeef network. She was doing her show on there, and truth be told, she was saying a lot of, basically a lot of the dating advice stuff that Alpha Male Strategy said 2-3 years ago. She was up there saying all of that, but but aside from that, a dude called it. I don't know if y'all have seen his name floating around in this space, but his StreamYard name was Simp Panderson. Like Anderson, but it was Panderson. That Simp Panderson, that was his name. That about killed me. That about killed me right there when I saw that Simp Panderson. Past behavior is a really good indicator of how that person will treat you. Actions will never lie. Nothing feels more lonely than to be with the wrong person. Very well said. Very well said. Yeah, I think. I think that's an obvious, true point. That, yeah, past behavior is not a guaranteed. It's not guaranteed, but it is an indicator of future behavior. It is a predictor. That's probably the best way to say it. It is a predictor of future behavior. A predictor of future behavior. That is very true, and that is hard to get around. That is very true, and that is hard to get around. And y'all got me, because nobody's coming up. Y'all got me mining for I'm looking. Oh shoot, I'm looking at my, damn it, y'all weren't supposed to hear that. I'm looking at my phone digging for other topics that I had, because I was gonna do a quick topic switch up if nobody's coming up. Shout out to, before I shout out E Black, says Bernard, Tommy Sotomayor will be on Fresh and Fit this week. Going to be legendary. Hey, I'm feeling that. I approve that message. I really do. I think it was unfortunate that Tommy and Kevin, and I think it's mostly Tommy fault. I don't know all the details. I don't know the whole Marvel origin story of Tommy's problem with Kevin Samuels, but I do think it was clearly more Tommy fault than than Kevin. Well, no, because maybe Kevin just, I don't know. I don't know the details. I don't know the details, but it would have been nice if two of them would have worked together, and then it started happening again, and Kwame Brown blew up. Now that one, I do think it was more Tommy's fault, even though, I rock with Tommy Sotomayor, no problem with him, but he's a pioneer. A lot of us are here doing what we're doing because he paved the way. But he did get petty as hell. It just seemed like it from the outside looking in. From the outside looking in, it looked like their wires got crossed. Hell, me and Pocket Watching with JT wires just got crossed recently. We was about to do a collab. Is it me and Pocket Watching with JT was about to do a collab. Our wires got crossed, or he got sick, or something like that, and then then it just didn't go through. It may go through sometime in the future. Me and Grown Man Business been supposed to have been doing a one-on-one for like the last year, and our wires keep getting crossed. It happens. I'm not about to do a clapback video going in on them. So that's why it was goofy. But I'm happy for Tommy. I'm happy for Tommy because somebody as big as Fresh and Fit, who's growing and thriving, and it's, I'm glad that somebody like that is working with him and reaching out to him, because truth be told, Tommy is one of the pioneers who, even though they didn't come up through, nowhere near a similar pipeline, they was with, Donovan Sharp and Rolo and all that. They still, Tommy's still a pioneer. So them becoming that big, 500 something subs, reaching back, bringing Tommy on there, getting Tommy in the algorithm, That's good for Tommy, and he deserves it. He flat out deserves it. But he was petty as hell with Kwame and Kevin Samuels. But Fresh and Fit is somebody who's big on that. Well, Kwame Brown and kind of he's fell off to normal successful YouTuber. Kwame Brown was uber through the roof successful YouTuber for a minute, but now he's just normal successful. You know, go live, get about 2,000, 2,500 in there. You know, he's basically doing, I don't know, similar numbers to Coach Greg Adams and Tommy Sotomayor. But when Kwame Brown got big like that, he didn't, you know, it didn't work out. I think mostly Tommy fought that they didn't work out. Tommy and Kevin couldn't work out. So it's nice that somebody that's that big is reaching back and working with him. That's cool. Not that he even need the help, because hell, the nigga over, he had 3,000 people in there. He's making money. He's made $1 million off this shit. Like, I don't know why I be talking like he like they left him in poverty or something. But anyway, but shout out to Tommy Sotomayor. That should be interesting. I hope we give him a good bump, and I hope he take it all the way to the moon and back. But all right, we got two people hopping on board. We got Judge Zilla the Beast, one of my favorite people to to chop it up with on here. Always comes with it, and I can't tell who this is. Let me move this so I can see who we got here. That Prince knows. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it might be Spanish and pinche naleches Holmes.
I can't really see it. It's real small. But anyway, Judge Zilla the Beast in the building. What you got? Go ahead. You got the floor. You got the mic.
You know, you've been on a roll lately. You basically called this one. The only thing I didn't hear that you reference is, how would he know that he's giving them an experience that they've never had before? Right? Because if he's purposely, this is a problem with this. One of the other problems with this line of thinking. Again, you're right in what you said earlier. You'll never know what her body count is.
Yeah,
it's impossible. Right. There's not a ticket taker on the front of her vagina. You know that you're just never going to know that. But
right.
But the other aspect of, I'm going to give her an experience that she's never had. How do you know that? And if your experience is so grand, why must you do repeat performances?
Sorry, guys.
Why hasn't it worked already in retaining a spectacular?
All right, hold on, wait. Yeah, go ahead and drop off and come back in. I think you having some technical. I'm gonna kick you from the studio, and then you can come back. Yeah, he was.
Spell your name right next time.
Yeah. But all right, go ahead.
But if it's if what you're doing is giving her something that nobody's ever given her before, why must you then do a repeat performance on somebody else? Why didn't your spectacular performance and what you gave her and how it's going to be with you, why wasn't that enough to keep her? And why would you waste it on somebody who wasn't worth keeping? Right?
Well, those other men were not man enough to get her to be the woman, the best version of herself.
But she wasn't. But he wasn't either. Or the best version of herself wasn't worth it.
Well, he hasn't been with this woman yet. Now you could ask the question: why haven't the other women that he's been? If he has if he has this magical power to make a woman be the best woman ever, then why aren't you with the last woman that you were with, assuming that you've been with the woman?
That's my point. Like, wait a minute. You've had all of these successive relationships, right? You're what they call now serial monogamist, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, you don't cheat and you only deal with one woman at a time. All right. And you give them all this wonderful, spectacular, mystical, heart-leafed herb Wakanda love experience. You look like me on that. You look like all of the pictures, the paintings in Black people's houses of the warrior and the priestess getting together. You know. But you can't but at the same time, you can't identify a woman worth the effort. or not worth the effort?
Right. Anyone will do. that's that's that anyone will do type of stuff, man. You killed me with that one. I might have to steal that. That damn like it's man, being with him is like taking the Wakanda purple heart herb. she go to the ancestral land. I forgot what they called it in Black Panther, but you know what I'm talking about. That ancestral land. That's where he takes her with his love. Man.
And if you can't, and that's what I'm saying. If you can do that, then how did she fall out of favor? Okay, so either she left you or you left her. Now, it's impossible for her to leave you, right? Because you've done this.
Mm-hmm.
Unless she wasn't worth this, and she was less than valuable than that. So she left because she wasn't worthy of your love. Okay. At the same time, or you cut it off for basically the same thing. She was not worthy of your. So it's not your. So let's say that your execution isn't off, but your pickers are off.
Yeah. Which means that you should be concerned about her past, because her past helps to shape who she is. And clear is like, so when somebody make a statement like that while being single, they're proving that their statement is false. There's no other way around it.
But the issue here is, again, what he's able to do, right? What he's swinging on is his ability, right? Mm-hmm. He has not proven his ability.
Yeah. Yeah, because
he claims to have this, but he has not proven. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and actually keeping and maintaining a relationship isn't even that extraordinary.
Well, and I'll say this, because actually Anton Daniels, who I don't consider him a simp. I don't consider him a simp, but he makes arguments like that. But at least, even though I think there are logical flaws in his arguments, and it's he make a lot of personal self-serving arguments, or aggrandizing arguments. But and whenever somebody do that, it's always some logical flaws in there. But at least he could show that he's been married 20 years. So the stuff that he's saying, he could at least say, oh, and by the way, it works. I'm in a successful, happy marriage.
Right.
If this dude can't even say that, I'm like, dude, you just blowing smoke up your all your subscribers' ass. But
they're willing to believe it because they are who they are, and it's fine. Like, you're making money off of him. He's making money off of who he makes money off of, right? He's just he's seen the delusion. He's seen the cognitive dissonance, and he's like, oh, if I just feed them, they'll give me money. Mm-hmm. Now, if he expects anybody to take him seriously, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah. Yeah. City boys are up. I see you down there. Mr. King Von. I don't know which one of those names you want to go by, but go ahead, introduce yourself, and welcome to the show. You got the floor. You got the mic.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Good morning, no matter where you are. City boys are up. Black men taking over. It's time for Oprah Winfrey, all these simps, to get the fuck up out of here and let us come in the forefront and take over this world now. It's about damn time. And I do want to tell you, bro, that if you check out yesterday, Tommy on Twitter, he was trending. And the attack that the man received for asking a simple question is insane. A lot of shit happened for the past 3 days. I do. Like, a lot of shit happened, man, for the Fresh and Fit people. From Tommy to OJ to Jackson, a lot of beef between us, and it's bigger than us. It's bigger than anything that we have against each other. We're going after a system that's been systematically putting us down for decades. That been putting Black women in corporation, helping, like, basically having their side of the story, and we never had a voice. We never had a voice up to this point. And I'm a youngin'. I could admit that. But I know that, growing up in a household that I came from, Atlanta, I've been in Baltimore, I've been in New York, I've been in Milwaukee. All these damn cities have the same shit. The single moms, the kids in the family, there's nothing but moms and children in these houses, in these apartments, driving Altimas, with no damn tires, going to jobs and leaving these fucking kids at home with their baby daddies and a whole bunch of bullshit that you see all your life. They never got exposed to this. Nobody checks them. Nobody says a thing. But as soon as the black man do something and trying to stand up for what is right, he gets attacked no matter what he says, even though the man is right himself. So I just want to say this: you as a black man yourself, what is the right answer? Like, how do we, you know, basically say something without getting people offended and up and up?
Well, I don't think we can we can't we can't do what we do and also worry about offending people. They're going to get offended. That just is what it is, because their narratives are being countered. Guys like the guys I just did a video on today, like, he used to could say the crazy stuff that he say and nobody would bat an eye. Now that there are so many men out there actually responding to this kind of stuff, it's shaking up everything. It's shaking up the world. To use the Ali reference, I shook up the world. But no, it is shaking up everything. It's definitely flipping the tables over, and everything is different now. But so when you were mentioned Tommy Sotomayor trending on Twitter, I've sort of seen that. I mean, I've seen a few things pop up where people have been talking about Tommy lately. So, I think it's wonderful. Oh, you mentioned one thing you mentioned that jumped out to me is you said that, the petty beefs do gotta go away. I think, as many people, or I'm just going to paraphrase the late David Carroll, he would always say something along the lines of, "Hey, if we disagree, whatever, let's just not get in each other's way." So I don't I don't like the whole. I'm gonna mute you up for okay, you muted yourself. Yeah, I don't like the whole Tommy and Kwame beef. I don't like Tommy going after Kevin Samuels. If him and Fresh and Fit can work and collab effectively, and I'm good with it. I always said, I don't care who said it first, who said it best. I like that it's being said on public platforms and millions of people are seeing it and hearing it, and that's what it's about for me. That's where I'm at with it. So
Oh, no
definitely,
doubt.
yeah.
I do have like several things to say because I never had a chance to talk to you, but I do want
Go ahead.
to say this. Fresh say he had a conversation with a brother that's like a pro-black guy. And here is the contradiction of what he said. He pressed Fresh and Fit on their dating preference and stuff, and yet he called. It's a funny ass video. Like, I really could send you this video, but it's academic
Yeah, send it to
reaction
me.
to it.
Send it to me, because I
Um,
heard Myron. I heard Myron talking about it, but I didn't. I didn't see the video, but I heard the way he described it. It sounds funny as hell. So yeah, go
it
ahead and
is.
send it to me when you get a chance. But you can go ahead and explain it, or you can go ahead
Yeah,
and whatever point you was about to make. Go ahead.
basically this pro-black talking about he's the new Black Panther Party that we never heard of. And he said that, oh, the reason why you hate your you hate your black queen so much is because you had trauma. And he called the other races like pink toenails, cave monkeys, all
That's not
these
new.
yeah, he called them crackers too. And then
Yeah, that's not new.
okay, nobody gonna check him. No, he's not gonna go trending. Nobody gonna say, oh, he's racist. Nobody gonna say anything. But as soon as you say something about this particular group of women, or AKA our queens, this particular group of women, you're gonna go on CNN. You're gonna go on these shade room posters. You're gonna go on all these channels that suck their dick so hard. Like, why? How we got here? Why is like gay people, women, black women, and all these people, for some reason you can't tell them nothing? Because if you do, everybody coming after you. All these pro
Yeah.
blacks and all these celebrities.
Well, that's how it is to some degree, and brothers speaking up, building their platforms, doing that. That's what's gonna change that. But
Yeah,
my
they hold
email
the
is in
keys.
the. Oh, go ahead.
They are the keys to the kingdom, right? They don't hold the keys. They don't use the keys. They are the key to the right. They're the key to they're the key to your concerns being subverted, right? Because if they solve for black women, they've solved for black.
Right, right. But I'm just saying, like, why a particular group of black men always defending them, and why they pick them to be on talk show like Steve Harvey, the biggest
Vagina.
of us. Well, I mean, that's why I know Martin Luther King. Honestly, like they
Viscous
had,
innards.
they had like pussy around them, and then all the movements just went down because that's the way you see it. Like I feel like Martin Luther King got backstabbed from his own people because pussy was involved.
I
Same
don't
thing
know
with
that.
I think that was less the problem than
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know about that one, but
read the book on Fauci and all of them. Read the book. There's a book in Fauci you can buy on Amazon right now.
right,
It goes
right.
deep
That
into it.
all right, well, cool.
you're
Hey,
a young cat, but you okay. You okay. You gotta read countervening information as well. You can't just rely on one document.
I
yeah,
understand. Maybe I'm
yeah,
putting
yeah.
too many
It's
things out in
complex
one
and it's a
basket.
lot of layers, but either way it go, you're generally on the right path. E Black says, "Slow down, young," and yeah, you got slow down a little bit, but you're on the right path. Just slow down a little
Hey,
bit, just a little bit.
I'm
That's
ecstatic
it.
that you said you read a book.
Yeah, yeah. Most of them, yeah,
Still need nightmares, man.
most of them ain't reading. But no, thanks for coming up. In my email in the about section, send me that video. I did want to see that video of Myron talking to the Black Panther dude. So send me that in my email in the about section. So I'll be looking out for that. But
No doubt.
thanks for coming up. I do appreciate it. All right. We got Big Mike dropping the building with a final super chat. He said we need a common agenda. I agree and disagree. I don't think people operate like that where they're gonna all agree 100% on something. Shout out to Lil Big Nate, the whole concept of like-minded men. I think we can all have a general thing that I think there are key general things that we all agree on, but when it comes to the nuance of how we do this or execute this, or it's going to be differences. So I think there should be like-minded factions that don't have to be at war with other factions or groups. So it just shout out what I was about to say. I think I said about David Carroll to stay out of. If we disagree on this small point, that's fine. Let's just stay out each other's stay out each other's way. That's just that. And like what Shaka Nulu just said right there, he said y'all agenda might not be mine, and that's very true. That's very true. So whatever Shaka Nulu agenda is that's different than mine, I don't got to get in the way of his. But both of us do believe in that. Speaking up for men, and I think we all generally agree in countering the nonsense that's thrown out there. I think we all agree with that. So
I have an observance that I have to get out, and it's not going to seem like I'm supporting black men.
Okay.
I gotta wonder, brother, are you wearing a Maserati shirt on a Honda while sitting on a Honda?
What? You talking about this brother right here, Josh Jackson?
No, man, no. That's a soccer shirt. But yeah, I'm on the Honda, man. That's old. That's an old picture, man.
I'm just saying,
Roast my
Maserati
ass
shirt,
already.
Honda.
Hey, this my initiation? God damn, okay.
Yeah, hey, that's
No,
like
that's
that's like wearing a Porsche jacket and sitting on a Prius. You know what I mean?
yeah. No, man, my sister, she's a photographer, and like I just went over there one day, and she was like, I just want to test out my camera. And okay, well, and that's the pose she had me do. Like, I'm like in front of a damn Honda, okay. But no, that's a soccer jersey. I'm a
I'm just
big
messing with
soccer
you,
fan.
bro.
I used to play it.
I see
I'm
the
coach.
Nike swoosh. It was
Yeah,
just an,
I
it
know,
was,
I
it was
know,
just an
and
easy make a joke.
yeah, I know. I can take a joke and I can give them, man. I don't care. But
Right.
what's going on, everybody? What's going on, Bernard, man? Long time listener, first time just coming up on the panel, man.
Hey, thanks for coming.
I just
What's
felt
on your
kind of,
mind?
man, I kind of felt compelled to come up because, first of all, like about this whole Tommy Sotomayor thing, it's like, black men is like we always want to be that one. You know what I'm saying? Like we do it with like some of the most simplest stuff, like with rap lyrics and stuff like that. It'd be something simple as like a rap lyric or a joke or something. Like, I was the first one to say that joke. Like, no, okay, it's okay. Somebody else said it. But, black men want to always be that one to, be like, I'm the one that killed it with this sword. I'm the one that killed the beast with the sword. Like, it don't matter as long as you kill the beast, man. We got to get out of that mindset. But like, to the topic though, yeah. We all referencing David Carroll and stuff, man. R.I.P. to that brother, man. I just like was getting into him like in the last year and a half, and man, that shocked me. But yeah, like he said, man, most black women are mentally retarded. I hate to say it like that, but
I wouldn't say it like that, but
hey, if you've been around in the manosphere, you've seen me up on panels, man. I'm straight brash with it. I don't care. But yeah, it's like so this dude, he's probably come up under a mentally inept woman, and he believes all this stuff like cultivating. You cultivate plants, like you cultivate cattle. You cultivate cattle, like you feed it, and you make sure it exercise and all that stuff there. Like, you can't cultivate a black woman, man. Like, no, that's not. And there's plenty of dudes. I got a story, man, because it was like I got a young well, I just had to cut him off, man, because he was on some super simp stuff. But I kind of understood, he was he's married and to his high school sweetheart, young guy and stuff. And it was just like he was one of those ones, like, I'm not gonna cheat, I'm not gonna look at other women like that. I'm like, oh, God, dude, okay. That's good and all, but you need to understand the nature of your woman. And that's what I preach a lot, here in the manosphere when I'm up on panels, man. We need to learn and understand the nature of the beast that we lay next to at night, man. And he didn't want to, he just like those female, blue pill, beta male talking points, like, you try to feed them tidbits of the manosphere and put them up on games, like, and then he just come out like,
with this brother, are you seeing some things within his marriage that looks problematic? Like, is he?
Okay.
Is he? I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. I was about to get to that.
Okay.
Like, okay, so yeah, he hit me with the you hate women. He hit me with that. I'm like, whoa, man, this me, this you big bro. Like, I've been putting you up on game for the longest. So, and later on, he comes back with like, man, I just feel like it should be more to marriage, man. Like, I'm like, dude, I've been trying to tell you that for the damn longest. Like, what the hell are you? He felt like he was drained, like he was being used in the marriage and stuff, and pretty much his wife, she's like in the shoes like any other woman, and he just feels like he just brought most of the work and stuff like that there. But I try to tell him that, so I'm wash my hands with all that. But yeah, man, like, you can't cultivate them. Like, they are who they are. That's what Dennis Green said, that they are who they say they were. Yeah, like, you can't.
Yeah, hold on. I got you. Wait
yeah, play that for me. Play that for me.
Wait.
They are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Right on. No, that's true. I think what it more so is that, like, a woman, she got to already be a decent human being, and once that's established, that she's a decent, solid human being, and she's willing to, get on board with you, and then from there, yes, you can you can have some certain specific things that you require, and she will accommodate, she will make that happen. But you got to first already be a decent human being and have agreed to follow you. So that's those things have to be established. I don't like when dudes, like the guy that played the video on, they talk about it like it don't matter, you could just pick anyone. Just pick a woman.
Yeah.
If you're on point and you're the man who you're supposed to be, that woman is going to just fall in line. But then when you ask those same men, okay, but what about situations when a man is a good leader? He's on point. He's a provider. He got his money right, and he's doing everything that a man is supposed to do, and that woman still is out of pocket. Then they will say, oh, well, then he picked wrong. He was supposed to better. But whoa, you can't say he was supposed to have some good vetting process when in your previous argument you said it basically don't matter. Just be the man that you're supposed to be, and she will conform to you. It's like, so they talk out of both sides of their mouth, which always happens when they're pandering. So that's that.
Yeah, man, I hate them type dudes, man. It's like they think that, okay, if I just be nice to her, give her back massages, foot massages, she come home from a long day at TJ Maxx, ringing up folks on the cash register. If I just, feed her crab legs, like they think it's a recipe to this, and it ain't no recipe to it, man. Like, you can make all the money in the world.
None of that is wrong or bad. None of that is wrong or bad, right? You can do everything that you said. You can do everything that he said, as long as that's inside of that relationship. It is reciprocated. It is considered. It is appreciated and reciprocated. The problem is that it is
not reciprocated. I was just about to ask you. 9 times out of 10, is that reciprocated?
If you treat your woman like a princess,
hold on.
But she treats you like an emperor.
I think the man of the hour is actually here. The man of the hour is actually here. So, well, first off, thank you for that super chat. Who I forgot who I just had up there. I think that was Freedman's Journal. Thank you for that super chat. I didn't mean to take it down, but the link is dropped in the chat room for the man of the hour.
There it is. There.
But no, I think you be leaving Scooby snacks for these folks to just that when you talk about it, they come up, man.
No, actually, it don't happen to me as much as I would like. I would like if they did it more often. They don't. I don't get pulled up on nearly as much as I would like. But yeah, shout out to Freedman's Journal. I didn't mean to skip over your super chat. Let me read. Oh, there it is. I found it back. Let me read what I was saying. Freedman's Journal in the building says, in 2022, can we get rid of the Highlander syndrome and agree to destroy the gynocracy? Yeah, the Highlander syndrome has to go. I see it with so many. I like Tommy Sotomayor and all that he do, but yeah, he got it bad. There's so many that do that got that. I think shout out to Mr. Fantastic. He called it what did he call it? Niggerlander. I think
Niggerlander. That's my boy. We from the same city, man.
Bernard, I'm actually going to get back to work here. Thanks for having me up, and I'll leave open room for my future ex-wifey.
I want him to come up. Well, I'll happily have the conversation with him. I'm skeptical of whether or not it's actually him. People be bullying and making fake profiles. Yeah. And Indigenous TV called him the Panderlorian. The Panderlorian. That's too funny. Simp Panderson is the funniest one. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. But no, the Panderlorian might take the cake. I don't know. But while we wait for I hate to say it like that, while we wait for my future wifey to come up, but while we wait for him to come up, anybody else could come up. But when he does come up, I will clear the panel and talk and speak to him one-on-one. That's only fair. Because he's featured, and so yeah. So because he was featured in this stream, it's only fair to let him come up and have his say. So I will definitely clear the panel and have the conversation with him. So but in the meantime, because I'm skeptical of whether or not that was actually, I probably can find out if it's actually him. Let me look on YouTube. If I go on,
double check.
Yeah, if I pull it up on YouTube, I probably can confirm that that's him. And let me double check, make sure I properly dropped the link. Yeah, I know I did. Damn it. How do I? All right, hold on. Yeah, give me a second while I double check to even make sure that that's actually him, because I can't do it from StreamYard, but if I click on the YouTube feed, I should be able to do it. So let's see. Because I'm skeptical. People never pull up on me. Damn it. I can't go back far enough to see. Shit. So I won't even be able to see it.
Yeah, I thought
Oh,
that was
that's
kind
it.
of weird. It was all of a sudden just come in.
Oh wait, no, I think I got him. I think I got him here. Let me stop that. Let me do this here. And now hold on, let me get rid of that. We have say your name. I can barely see that.
Laterras Whitfield.
Laterras Whitfield. Thank you for joining the show. Before we get started, I will say this. I'll stand on everything that I've said, but the title saying proud simp, that was a catchy headline. So
That's fine.
I'll apologize for that title.
Listen, I ain't gonna be nothing but respect another king. So, we gonna chop it up. Like I said, you're dealing with a real dude. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is.
All right, fair enough. But no, thank you for coming on. So you're so I guess give us the background. Tell us what your channel about before we get started.
Basically, I have a podcast called Dear Future Wifey. So my podcast is my personal journey as I discover, uncover, and recover love. So I've been divorced. I got divorced 6 years ago. And got a divorce. Different stuff was going on in my marriage. I stepped outside my marriage several times, cheated on my wife many times, and just wasn't happy with the marriage and said, it's time for me to go do something different. And so through the last 6 years, I've been going through my own personal healing journey. I started my podcast in 2020 during the pandemic, and I said, I'll just heal in front of the public eye. So I said, let me just go through my healing in front of the public eye. And that's exactly what it was. It's my personal journey. I'll talk to single people. I'll talk to married people, getting a reference on what marriage looks like to figure out what's really out here in these dating streets, because I've been married for 10 years. And so the climate and the temperature has changed since I've been out here in these dating streets. And so the whole podcast is just literally my journey. The episode that the little 30-second snippet that has a lot of guys talking was an episode from an hour and 20-minute episode. And in the episode, I was talking to this couple that just fallen in love, 30 days. They met in seminary school. And I had met the girl previously a few months ago when she just moved to Dallas. I live in Dallas. So she was talking about how she got tired of just, being with guys that only want to have sex with her or whatnot. And she said that she was been abstinent, and she's been abstinent for quite some time, and said that she was waiting on God to bring her husband. And she ended up meeting the guy that you saw in the video. And that's what the frame of reference came from. So what I was talking about was that, not saying that I want a woman that's fresh out the bed of 25, 35 dudes, but simply saying that the way I'm set up is that I know that women have a past, just like I've had a past. And whatever her past has been, if she's been healed and delivered from said past, then I'm willing to overlook that and know that it was the pain and the trauma that caused her to be so casual with her body. And that, as a man, I'm not saying this is recommended for every man. I said, this is me. So when I talk, I stand 10 toes down in what I believe. So I said, the way I'm set up is that I don't care so much about that I go, hey, listen, have you been healed from that? Have you been through therapy? Have you been through counseling? Good. I don't get intimidated.
Hold on, real quick. Did you say that part in the stream? And because granted, I only looked at 30 seconds. Did you say that part in the stream if she's been healed and delivered from it?
Yeah, I say that.
I don't like the term delivered from it, but I understand. Understand. Hold on, real quick. I understand where you're coming from. That's one thing that I said where I was saying that you don't know. This is my thing. You don't know what a woman's past is. She can say anything. Lie to you all day. She can lie to you. She can say anything. If she didn't show up with any emotional scars or baggage from it, she didn't show up with another man's kids. She didn't show up with a reputation that precedes her. If she don't show up with all of that, then I'm good with her. But what it sound like with what you were saying, it was sounding more so along the lines of, you don't care about none of that. She could be a hoe. She could have a reputation that precedes her.
Never that.
Okay.
Never that. My platform, the way I'm set up, it would never be there. I'm too much in the public eye. My whole lifestyle, everything I do is in ministry and church and all that stuff. People hire me to produce their plays and productions at their church. So I'm not going to take some chicks fresh off a stripper pole and go be like, "This is my wife." No, I believe in honor. So
right.
So I'm saying that the 30 seconds is just 30 seconds to a bigger narrative. And my whole podcast has always been just like me. I said, even while I'm on this journey, I said I wasn't even good from being in a relationship because I knew the way I'm set up, I'm going to cheat on you because that was the lifestyle that I had. So I had to even go. So on December the 17th of 2020, I took a vow of abstinence. I said, let me go ahead and show some self-discipline for myself. Let me get disciplined because I had a propensity to step outside of my marriage and cheat. So I said, I have to kill this Goliath in my life so that I can be a better man. You know, I watched my dad always cheat. It is what it is. So I said, I don't want to be that dude no more. So let me go through my own healing. So it's the same thing. My whole podcast is all about healing in the whole journey. And so what I was simply saying is that no, in the 30 seconds, you didn't hear me say that. But my whole podcast, every episode, I have therapists on there all the time. We talk about healing, 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 healing. And so that's what I'm saying that her past doesn't intimidate me. And I know you like the word delivered, but, you know, I'm from a faith-based perspective.
I understand.
Yeah, you know, that's the terminology we use. But even from the practical standpoint is that I need you to have gone through some therapy. If you've been through that level of trauma where you were that casual with your body, then we got to unpack that because that's a sign of brokenness, as it was with me. It was a sign of brokenness. Being raised where you think that, you know, no matter how many women you have sex with, it's a form of your own masculinity. So I never even thought to honor my own body. You know, I never thought about that. So I was out in the street smashing. You know what I'm saying? So that's a journey that I had to even learn for myself to get healed from. And so I keep that same energy when I'm dealing with whoever my wife is. This is not just some random girl. This is not just some girl that I'm dating. This is when I say, this is the person that I believe God brought to be my wife. Let's sit down, chop it up. Let's talk and unpack some things in your past. And hopefully, because that's a prerequisite, that she's transparent with me. And oftentimes when I say create a safe space, is another video I did that went viral. But creating a safe space is where it's like, hey, listen, let's chop it up. We all have a past. Let's talk. And knowing that I'm not going to pass judgment on her, thinking she's some H or think she ain't whatever. If I decide to pass on said girl for whatever reason, because I don't believe she's my wife, then I pass on her for those reasons, not because I said, oh, girl, you a H. I don't want to be with you no more. Because then I'm reinforcing trauma in her life. And I want every experience I have with a woman to be healing and not reinforce trauma.
Okay. Now, looking at what you said right here, where you said that, you know, you're a public figure, you're in the public eye, you're a religious man, you know, a woman showing up wearing it on her sleeves, that she's wearing her past on her sleeves. It's clear that she's been out there. She got a reputation. She got this. You saying, hey, you basically just said you're not going to mess with that chick because you know
you're in her past. It has to be in her past now, and I mean far removed. It can't be 6 months ago. I used to do this. That's not enough time lapse for me. You know what I'm saying? Because
right.
you're too close to your past. Your past still looks like your present.
But what it looks like is that you're basically saying is that I'm not trying to really deal with a chick like that. But when you make comments like what you made in albeit a 30-second clip, It does look like you're pandering to that, because you know a lot of women are out there like that. They'll subscribe, they'll eat that up. Ooh, he's saying it's okay for me to been out there doing this and doing that. It's okay. I mean, it just sounds like more of that Derek Jackson. We call it the panda bear thing. They was calling you the Pandalorian Simp Panderson. They was calling you all of that. It does look it. I mean, you do understand how it looks like that. Now,
when you look at it,
hold on real quick. Let me land the plane here, because I recently criticized a woman for doing something. That was actually my last stream. It was a woman who was a sophisticated, just seemingly, just from the look, you know, she was dressed business professional. I think she was a sports agent. So she was a successful woman, making a lot of money, had a good career, had a ring on her finger, but she was basically making an argument for strippers and
But
basically saying the stripper is no different from the athlete. You use your body to make money, she used her body to make money. What's the difference? So I'm like, why is this married, professional, educated woman, why is she making a case for strippers? So the question has to be asked, why would this successful, smart, intelligent Christian man with a YouTube channel called Dear Future Wifey, why even make any argument to sound like you're pandering for the women who out there wilding out doing a thing like that?
That's why I think it's based on perspective.
It came off like a pander.
I think it's based on perspective. See, the way my mind is set up, I don't judge anything on a snippet. Because if you judge me on the snippet of my life, you'll be like, I can't deal with this dude. This dude right here was a thug. He's shooting at people. He's a hothead. So if you get a certain snippet of my life, you may make a different assumption instead of listening to the whole life. And so my whole thing is, I think that we're too quick to judge people's entire existence on a 30-second clip. It's like you judged my whole mindset, the way I think. And I'm reading these comments, I laugh at it. See, if I wasn't here, some of that stuff was absolutely hilarious to me. I have one of the craziest sense of humor. A lot of my friends like, that don't hurt your feelings. I'm like, no, this is funny. This is building my analytics. I like this. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just laughing. It's funny to me but that's the healed version of me. The broken version of me, the old hood thug version of me, I be trying to pull up on people. You know what I'm saying? So the difference is that I understand people will judge somebody on a 30-second clip. And it's not that I'm pandering. It's me literally saying, for me, because I'm a grown 43-year-old man, I decide and choose who I want to be with and how I choose to be with said person. It ain't got to do, I only know I'm choosing one. I ain't choosing all the women on YouTube and all the women in the world. I'm saying that my wife, I will not be intimidated by her past, not your woman's past, not the other dude's past. I'm talking about my wife. If she's been with 25, 35 people, my first wife, she only been with one guy before me. But I wouldn't care if God said, this is the person you need to marry, and she's been with 25, 35 people. I'd be like, all right, cool. Let's chop it up. Can we be honest? Can we be transparent? Do you have any STDs? Do you got herpes? Do you got this? Let's go ahead and do a full panel. As I would do the same, because your boy been out in these streets. I would do the same and be like, all right, cool. I'm not judging you by your past, because she could sit there and say, I would never marry you because you're a cheater. And I'd be like, well, no, that was in the past, and this is now you're a cheater. I don't trust you. Then how would I keep that energy? I'll be like, see, that's messed up. So I got to keep the same energy. And as men, we don't want to keep that same energy that we want a woman to have towards us. And because if we're really honest, it's our fragile masculinity. If a woman did the same thing that we did to them, I'm just talking about me, cheated on my wife several times. If my woman did that to me, I don't think I'll be free right now. I don't think I'll be sitting up here free. I'll probably be in jail somewhere. Because the reality is, I know for a fact that my fragile masculinity couldn't handle her doing to me what I did to her. And so,
why are you calling it fragile masculinity? Because you don't want your woman having sex with somebody else. Why is that?
I'm doing the same thing, though. If I'm doing the same thing, so that's what I'm saying. I gotta keep it a buck with you. If I'm doing the same thing, then who am I to sit there and give and be broken and kill somebody because she did the same thing I did to her?
All right. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say I wouldn't call it fragile masculinity. It is true that men are different than women, and men take cheating harder. That's what I would say. I'm not going to say masculinity is fragile. It's just that
I'm saying I gotta keep the same energy. At the end of the day, it's saying
understand
where I'm elevating as a man to say that if I don't want it done to me, let me not do it, because I was extremely foul in the past. And so I'm saying, all right. And even before her, that's why I said I took the vow of abstinence to be like, all right, let me go ahead and operate in a level of self-discipline. That's for me. I ain't talking about everybody else. This is my journey. So even when I was talking about me being willing to accept a woman for her past, it's like y'all translated it as in, I'm gonna turn an H into a housewife. That's not my testimony. That's not the goal. That's not the desire. But if her past, she was considered that in the past, and she's changed, redeemed, different mindset. She's handling me differently. I'm not sitting up there being suspect every time a guy come in her face and she's smiling and giggling and all that. I'm talking, I watch everything. I peep everything. Like I said, I'm from the street, so I peep everything. So if I'm seeing her,
that's what I like to hear. That you watching things, you peeping things. Because most of the time when men talk like how you talk, and specifically how you was talking in the 30-second clip, normally those are not the men who are watching the subtleties. You know,
I watch everything.
when she meet, let's say some guy that she knew from whenever. Do she give them all? Do she hug all of her male friends?
Talk about
it. Extend your hand out, give a handshake. I mean, that wouldn't even a church hug. Like it was.
And she hugging him and moving with him while she hugging. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm watching everything.
A lot of dudes who speak the way that you were speaking, they be lax on that type of stuff, and then but okay. But let's talk about the concept where you said what you're going to cultivate in her. Let's talk about that. What you're going to cultivate in her, you're going to get from her, you know, what no other man has got from her. What I said when I was doing a reaction to it, this woman, other men have got they think you probably saw they've got those 35 men got something for her and didn't do half of what you'd had to do, and didn't do and wasn't probably half as good of a man as you are, but they got her fast, quick, and easy. So why was even looking at that as an accomplishment, that you're going to get something more out of her? And would that also just be a reflection of, okay, she got her whole phase out of the way, so now she's going to sit down somewhere with you the bailout plan? Like, what's your thoughts on that? Gotta throw it at you like that. Go ahead.
No, that's good. First of all, I understand exactly where you're coming from, and I have mad respect about even the frame of reference that you're making. That makes all the sense in the world. What I'm simply saying is this: when it's my wife, we all know that when you get whatever woman you've been with, she's been with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Unless she's a virgin, she's been with somebody else. I don't care if it's one. We're just going to go ahead and talk about one person. That whatever this one guy was in her life, it didn't work. They're no longer together. The relationship where they were married or boyfriend and girlfriend, or they were just in a situationship, it did not work for whatever reason. I'm saying that when I come into her life, I am going to begin to cultivate, to be able to understand who she is. This is the person I'm supposed to be with. This is my wife. I'm going to dig deeper in her than any other man has done, from an emotional figuratively.
Poor choice of words with the woman that showed up she showed up with 35. She showed up with 35. You don't know if somebody else dug deeper.
I'm digging still deeper, bro. So
out of them 35 men, you don't know. One of them probably.
I'm just saying, hey. That's why I said we're gonna cultivate something else. So the reality is this. I'm saying the reality is that whatever she was with that other guy and the other guys or whoever, and we're just talking about one. We're just gonna make it real simple. One person. That the reality is that when I begin to dig into her life, understand her better, this is my wife, this is the person I'm gonna do the rest of my life with, then I have to tap into something in her that nobody else did in order for us to make it work. Other than that, I should not be with nobody. If it's not that I'm going to be the best version of myself for her and extract the best version of her to me, then I really don't have nothing special. That means that if you got a woman, I can be with her, and it ain't nothing unique about you and her, because it's the same with anybody. No, I'm saying that whoever God blesses me with is going to be something so different, and I'm going to get a version of her that nobody has ever had. And likewise, she will get a version of me that no other woman has had. And that's what cultivation is. It's saying, listen, the word husband means cultivate. And so the reality is that me fulfilling that role as a husband, automatically the requirement is to cultivate. And so I will till the soil. I will be able to help her and nurture her and understand who she is and what her goals are. And it ain't all about her trying to help me feel my goals. It's like, we're going to be purpose partners. We're going to do this thing together. And so that's what I mean by that. It's not saying that all these other guys she's been a jump off for all these other dudes. And for me, I'm just going to treat her like a queen, but she's just a straight up jump off. No, if she's a jump off, she's a jump off. Those girls don't even be in my circles anyway. Like, you got to understand the circles of women that I hang around with. If you're a jump off, it's not, I'm gonna see through all that stuff. It's not even attractive to me.
Yeah, and that's why, and that goes back to the. And I don't. I mean, you gave an answer, so I don't want to circle back and beat the dead horse. But like, if a jump off is a woman that ain't even in your circle, ain't even in your radar, those women aren't even in your presence, then and that's why to me it makes no sense to even say, oh, I don't care if she's had 25, 35
She
or
could be
so
25,
bodies,
35
but
and not be a jump off though. So like,
yeah, well, yeah, because you're basically saying, and granted, that I'll concede the point that it was a 30-second clip. If in the 1 hour video that you made it clear that we talking about stuff deep in her past, that she's you know,
think about I'm 43 years old. Y'all talked about something about in college days and all that. I'm 43 years old. If I dated a woman or married a woman that's 40 years old and she lost her virginity, let's say that she waited a little later, most of them losing around 16. What if she lost about 19? She had 20 years.
Yeah.
And if she ran into me about 10 times in her life, ran into a me, meaning my past me, she already got 10 bodies right there. So because the way I operated, dude, I was that dude that I could smash a girl so quick. Like it was so quick. And I would I would get a girl with the truth. I never had to run game. I never said, I'd be like, listen, I ain't down for no relationship. If you want to have fun, let's have fun. If not, no, move on. And then a woman would be like, dang, I respect that a lot. So even that same energy that I had back in the day of keeping it real, I keep the same realness now. So what people see from me is 100% authenticity. I don't need to pander to nobody because I'm good with who I am. And just like I can.
Well, I don't hold on. I don't think you pander to a woman that you're going to get with. It's it was the YouTube pander.
That wasn't. See, y'all may frame it that that's me and my personal journey. It's like you literally come into my house, sit on my couch, and hear me talking to somebody, and then that's recorded, and then go, "Oh, he's pandering to the world." No, I'm literally talking to a guest, a friend, and it just so happened to be recorded. That's what my podcast is. It's literally my personal journey. So I say some real stuff on there. I talk about stuff that I've done in the past that dudes that were wanting to pander. See, the difference between me and the Derek Jackson that you're talking about is that a Derek Jackson was sitting over here doing one thing and living something different. He was married and over here smashing chicks on the side. I'm that dude that if I was married and I was smashing, I would be on my podcast and say, yeah, I cheated on my wife yesterday. Before anybody else said anything, I would say it, I'll tell it myself. So the difference is that what I've done on my podcast is talk about my past. I'll share about, which could be a red flag to certain women if I was pandering to be like, hold on, this man, he be cheating on his wife. He did that. Well, what the heck? No, I don't want to listen to him. It could be triggering for them. But because I'm secure in who I am and healed in who I am, I'll be like, if you don't like it, you don't like it. I don't care. I'm the type of dude that if you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. I've been through therapy and I had to get healed from codependency of other people's opinion. That's the reason why when somebody just sent me this clip of you talking on YouTube, I said, I'll pull up, let's talk. Because I'm just that real nigga. Like we can talk. So the reality is simply that it's no pandering whatsoever. It's not that my platform is used for me to catch the attention of women. It's not even meant for that. My platform is me personally going through my own healing, and whoever wants to watch it, watches it. And that's why when I say stuff, I don't give people advice. I don't never say what men should do is this. Never do I say that. I say I. You know where I learned that from? From therapy. I went to therapy and they said, don't blame other people for nothing. Talking I and me statements. So what I would always have to do, I couldn't blame my wife for anything. I would say, I did this. And I couldn't blame her. So I'm keeping that same energy to be able to say, I don't have a problem with a woman doing that. Not men shouldn't have a problem. And women, if you meet a man that has a problem with your past, you need to leave him alone. It's none of my business. It's me. I don't have a problem with that. So if you can find anywhere on my YouTube where I start talking about men should do this and men, that's the difference between me and Derek Jackson as you compared it to. I'm not giving advice to people on what they should do. It's just literally me saying what I would do. And it's caught y'all's attention.
All right. How long I'm married and divorced too. How long ago was your divorce?
6 years ago, December 29th. I was married for 2 weeks shy of 10 years.
All right, you've been not married. I mean, yeah, my divorce was in 2014. 2014, was separation in 2014, divorce in 2015.
My
So
divorce 2015. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
2015.
similar in the amount of time. So okay, cool.
Yeah.
So since then, one more personal question. Since then, how many relationships have you been in?
I was in one situationship from the tail end of my marriage, which is when I was in a relationship when I was getting a divorce from my wife, and that was a toxic situationship for 3 years, and after that is what really led me to my healing journey.
Okay, so after that, you haven't been with anybody.
I just not in a relationship. I just been.
So you still out fucking hoes?
No, I was doing that. I was doing that up into 2020. 2020, yes.
Okay, so okay, all right. Yeah. No, what I was trying to get at, I was going to talk about the your next level cultivating power. I was about to say that if you've been in a relationship and you have this power to cultivate, then that woman should be ideal best woman. But you said you haven't been.
No, because and mind you, that cultivation is only with one woman. It's with my wife. So it's not like I'm running over here dating girls trying to cultivate them. Yeah, you'll get because I'm not looking for a girlfriend. That's the difference. I'm looking for a wife. That's why it's called the Dear Future Wifey podcast. I don't need a girlfriend. When I meet a woman and whoever God desires for me to marry, she will be the woman that I marry, and all my energy and work goes into her in the cultivation process. Not like I'm sitting up here dating a girl and oh well, let's go spend all my resources and time and energy building. I don't have the mental space or the heart space to be giving of myself to those type of women like that. It's just not possible. So it's with that one woman that God brings to me and say, that's the woman. All bets are off, laying my sword down. You're getting all of me, 100% vulnerability.
Yeah. Do you think men, because you mentioned the word intimidation, do you think men are actually intimidated by women with a sexual past, or do they just rightfully not see a woman who's been around the block a bunch of times? They don't see her as valuable as a woman that hasn't. So why use that language? I mean, that's part of the reason why you get called you get called a simp. Why I refer to you in that way, because that's how women describe it when they're out, being hoes. Or he just intimidated by me, or when they combative or masculine, he just intimidated by a strong woman. They try to take a shot at a man's masculinity because he's finding legitimate problems in the way that they conducting themselves. And so when you use the term intimidated, I'm like, okay, you're speaking their same type of language that they use when they're trying to spray perfume over all of their feces. So that's why it's like, come on, man, come on.
No, I'm saying I'm not intimidated. That's why I said you gotta think about it. I said I'm not. So meaning that
nobody is.
It wouldn't be a deflection. It wouldn't be a deflection or a deterrent of whether or not that woman holds value for me. That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying that if I met the woman that God designed for me to be with, and her past is 25, 35 dudes, and I just threw that random number. I could have said 5 or 10, but I want to put something that's exaggerated to where, and I realized that wasn't even exaggerating because women be like, yeah, I've been with that many dudes, and I've been with more. One lady commented under and said, oh, that's a low number. She said, if we've been honest, okay. Well, the reality is that depending on what your background is and your profession is, if you're in the entertainment industry or whatever it is, it gives you a different level of exposure. I'm in the entertainment industry, so it gave me a whole different level of exposure. And even with as many women as I had sex with, I walked away from a whole lot more. So the reality is that I'm saying that the intimidation for me was simply saying, again, not talking about other dudes, I'm not intimidated. So if a woman came to me and said, oh, I done been with, in her mind, she's saying she's been with 25, 35 guys. Say she's been with 35 guys in her mind. She said, I ain't gonna never tell them that because he's gonna be intimidated. My response to that was, I'm not intimidated by that. So one thing that I always say on my podcast, I said, honesty is telling me the truth when asked a question. Transparency is telling me what I don't know to ask. Give me transparency. So even a woman that had sex with 25 men and lied and said she only had sex with 4, and a woman, no, let me say it like this. A woman who's had sex with 4 and lied and said she had sex with 2 will be less valuable to me than the woman who had sex with 35 and told me the truth. Because I can't trust you if you lie. I can't trust you. So that's why I said transparency and honesty is so important to me. Because if a woman has sex with 4 dudes and was like, he can't handle the 4, so I'm gonna say 2. But then the woman who had sex with 35 said, I'm gonna tell you the truth, I had sex with 35. She will carry more weight and value to me because I can trust her. The woman that lied, I can't trust her. I don't know if your homeboy Tyrone is really your homeboy or dude you smashing, because you lied to me about just telling me that you had sex with 4 people. You know what I'm saying? So that's what means the most to me, is the honesty and transparency. Because if we're really truthful, a woman can lie to every last one of us and give us whatever number they think that we feel good about and never have to have this conversation with us. You will never know it's 25, 35, because they can sit there and say, he's comfortable with 3. I had sex with 3. And then that's it. And every way you ask her, she says 3. It's 3. And you carry that for the rest of your doggone life until 4 people come up to you sometime in life at different times. You're like, oh, that 3 is, I didn't know. I just talked to 4 different dudes that I heard them had sex with her. And you come down and say, oh, you had sex with 4. Oh, I forgot about that one. My bad. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was 4. That's what I'm saying. It's like we're arguing about something that when we get down to it, it's all about her willingness to tell you the truth and be transparent, because you'll never know what her number is.
All right. Shout out to Indigenous TV. He said, this simp algebra making my head hurt.
I know. Tell him to go back to class.
Yeah. But shout out to Al Boogie. Thank you for the $5 super chat. I do appreciate that. Says, so he should dig. Get out of there with that dig deeper, man. That one killed me.
No, you gotta dig deeper. You gotta dig deeper.
So he should dig deeper in her for better understanding of her. Laughing my A off. He says, got it. Classic show, B Diddy. He a reformed himself. B Diddy, don't be fooled. Yeah, I mean, listen.
I am.
Yeah, but see, my view is, and I mean, I'm not even trying to call you to the carpet on this, but my view is, whenever a guy is single and also in the business of giving that relationship advice to women, that they out there getting it in. It just is what it is. So I mean,
and I'm gonna be honest with you, I was tempted to be that dude, but I wasn't. So that's what I'm saying. When he said I'm a reformed H, I am, like 100%. That is who I am. Like, that is facts. But the reality was, I didn't want to tarnish what God was building through me by being that dude. So in 2020, I was that dude. To keep it a buck with you, 2020, I smashed 12 women in 2020. But then I took a vow at the end of 2020 to say, I'll never get married. The route I'm going, this ain't gonna work. So I need to stop doing something. So I had to make a hard stop. I did an episode where I had this pastor come on my podcast, and he took me through this vow of abstinence. And I said,
wait, hold on. Did you have your podcast when you was out smashing in 2020?
Yes.
And was you saying a lot of the same stuff, or
no? I was simply telling women I'm out here having sex. I'm doing it. See, okay. I keep it real. When I tell you ain't gonna never meet a realer dude. I have an episode called Heal Brother Heal, where I talked about my son finding condoms in the car. I adopted my son. I adopted him from CPS. And he said, Dad, what are you doing with these condoms in the car? He's 16. Well, now he's 18, but at the time he was 16. He said, Dad, what are you doing with these condoms in the car? You're a Christian. You ain't supposed to be having sex. I said, how you think I relieve stress from raising you? I need a stress reliever. And I talked about that on the podcast. Women tell me, I can't believe you're a Christian and you having sex. I said, it is what it is. I'm a Christian and I'm having sex. So then after the pastor that I brought on the podcast, if you watch the episode, I said that with him on the way going to his church. One of my homegirls called me and said, Say, where you going? I said, I'm finna go visit this church. Pastor Conway. She said, are you abstinent? I said, no. She's like, hold on, you're a Christian man. Why aren't you abstinent? I said, because I'm a Christian man. I ain't abstinent.
Wait, hold on. She said Pastor. Hold on. She said Pastor Conway?
Yeah, Pastor Conway is the one community church.
Oh, and I'm sorry. I got mixed up. I was looking at the chat and listening to you. I thought somebody referred to you as a pastor. I thought you were saying that you were a pastor. That would have been
no.
That would have been a whole nother. That would have been a whole nother layer. That would have been a whole nother layer.
I was going to go visit this church on New Year's Day in 2020, and she was asking me, was I abstinent? And I said no. So she said she's gonna pray and ask the pastor. She said she's gonna pray that the pastor says something in the sermon that stops me from having sex. And I said, girl, you just messed up. I said I got something lined up after church. So. Damn. I went to the church service, but I said the same thing on the episode. I said that to the pastor. That's how I got him on the podcast. I said, listen, we're going to keep it real. Like, you as a pastor can run around and tell people not to have sex while you got you a nice little piece to go home to and smash. I'm out here in these dating streets. I'm single. I need, I need something. But he respected me because I was that real. And I said, but I got to the point in my life where I needed to change. I needed to be better. You know what I'm saying? It was nothing that hurt me more than divorcing my wife and telling my daughter, who wasn't even her biological mom, but seeing that, no, I'll take a step back. It wasn't the divorce. It was when I told my daughter that I had cheated on my wife. And watching my daughter's eyes well up with tears, and she told me, she said, I talked about this on the podcast, I hate dudes that cheat on their girlfriends. And she was in the 9th grade. And I sat there and I was like, dang. And I'm my daughter's hero. So when she said she hated dudes that cheat on their girlfriends, I didn't know that she had this little boyfriend at the time, because she wasn't supposed to have no boyfriend. She had a boyfriend at the time that was cheating on her. And so when she said that, she saw me as him. And it broke something in me. And I said, dang, now I still didn't get my act together. And I kept doing what I did, got right for about 5 years. And then the last year, I cheated again. And I said, I just need to get divorced. I'm not built for marriage right now. Let me get divorced and get myself together. So when we fast forward to Pastor Conway, that's what it was on the episode. He came on the episode. I talked. I said, hey, we're going to chop it up. I feel like God is calling me to a higher level, but we got to unpack this thing. And we got on there and talked, and it was real. But even with him, I said, yeah, I had somebody lined up after church. You know what I'm saying? It was just that real. He said, God, this dude here crazy. He's like, I can't believe he said that. I said, shoot, that's what it was. And I said, and I went to your church, and I said, I went to your church service, and you just started talking about men sowing their oats. I said, I felt like you was cop blocking in the sermon. He just fell out. He said, this joker here is crazy. But that's how I talk. It's just real. But that's why God uses me in the way that he uses me, because I ain't going to play. When y'all say pandering and simp, ain't nothing simp and pandering about me. When y'all talking about beta male, I'm like, nigga, y'all dealing with a real nigga. Like, they ain't no.
Well, I think the chat room believed that about you in real life. I think the jury is still out on whether or not, because we've only seen 30 seconds. Yeah. But I think the jury is still out on whether or not you like the internet cyber simp pander bear type. I think the jury is still, out on that.
Yeah, I can't please everybody. So my whole thing is, what just happened to my thing? Can you still see me?
Yeah, I can still see you, but real quick, just hold your thought for a second. Al Boogie in the building. He says he got that golden mouthpiece, but now cut it out. He said, and we got Osmosis Reacts in the building, says beta. I still don't got that Jesse Lee Peterson drop, but he says beta, stop the cat. I mean that beta that they throwing out there, that's an inside joke. Don't. Well, you said January.
I already know what beta means. But
I know, but it's somebody who yell it out all the time, be like beta. But anyway, he says beta, stop the cap. What is that? A Simplematic. Okay. Yeah,
I love all the variations they be using. That tickled me. Some of them dudes had Homer Simpson. I love that one. That was fun.
Yeah. Reformed Pookie turned Pastor Ray. Stop discussing brown folk business with the grown folk business with the kids. Shout out to Osmosis Reacts. Appreciate that. Shout out to Sun is Hot Raw. He says, you have my sympathy, my friend. You have my sympathy. Shout out to you. Shout out to, I think that's everybody who has contributed on the super chat end. I've asked most of the questions that I can ask. We got somebody else that want to come up and I suppose ask some questions. Yeah, somebody else can come up and ask questions if y'all want to. I mean, we got the man here. Y'all calling them all kind of simps. So I mean, I'm guilty too. I mean, I still just my honest opinion. You know,
it don't bother me. It don't bother me.
I think in real life you're a real dude, but I think your public persona, I think is I think there's an element of it that's public persona with a splash of pandering. But I will go back and watch a whole 1 hour. I'll go back and watch a whole 1 hour stream, a 1 hour podcast. Yeah. And if I'm wrong, I will publicly admit I was wrong. I'll come back and say, hey, dude was cool. But based off what we've seen, yeah, it still reeks of the whole Derrick Jackson Panda Bear thing, but it is what it is on that. But we got Big Mike drop in here, just took the link, so I'll go ahead and pass to you. Go ahead, what you got? Well, hold on real quick before I do that. Charles Merchant in the building says, Lord Jesus Christ is not sending you back to your own vomit. That's all you. I don't even get what he's saying.
About going to a woman that has had a whole lot, then to go back to that is because the Bible says something about returning back to like a pig or something, talking about returning back to his vomit. A pig will return back to his vomit.
Yeah, well, you getting with a hoe would mean you going back to your vomit. Is you going out, you going after somebody else's vomit. That's what that would mean. that was a problem. It looked like you was advocating for cleaning up somebody else's mess. That's what it looked like. That's what it was about. But fear to none with a $3 super sticker. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Go ahead, Big Mike drop. You got it.
Man, what's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
What's happening?
Doing great.
Hey, good. Y'all hear me? Y'all hear me all right?
Yes,
we
sir.
hear you good.
All right, cool, man. Cool. Hey, man, I just had a question for both of y'all. I guess anybody out there.
Mm-hmm.
At what point in time in a relationship do you ask that question to a woman?
What about her body count?
Yeah, like how soon into the relationship do you ask that?
Go ahead, you got it.
Only time I feel like I would ask is if I know that I want to have something significant with her. Because all the chicks that I messed around with in 2020, I ain't never asked them that. I don't care because it didn't matter to me. You know what I'm saying? But if I know that I want to build something with you, the minute I say, you know what, I want to really start unpacking to see if there's a woman I want to build life with, then I'm gonna ask you at that point.
So I assume you already beat at that time point.
Typically, my past self, yeah. Now I don't even plan to do that. I plan to wait till marriage.
Right. I mean, the reason.
Well, hold on. Well, my quick answer to the question is, if you're keeping it 100% casual, then you should not care at all. You shouldn't care how many sex partners a casual your casual sex partner. You shouldn't care how many people she's been with. If you're about to be in a real relationship with her, you can ask, but you never know. So sometime I ask, but I don't take that as necessarily definitive. I'm more so just ask just to see what she gonna say. Because
you ain't gonna believe it anyway, huh?
Yeah, it's no true way of knowing. It's no true way of knowing. So I just ask. I ask very casually, just curious. I just want to watch her squirm when she try to answer. That's it. I'm just being I'm being an asshole when I ask. That's I don't even.
Hey, I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but I think a lot of times dudes, when they ask that question, they're being assholes to themselves.
Explain.
Because, like I said, if it's an important question, then you ask that up front. If that's going to determine, usually when you're attracted to a woman, unless we don't just out here being hoish, and we have the tendency to do that from time to time. Yeah. But if you're attracted to a woman, that's from impact. That's from when you meet her. So, if you, hey, I like the way this woman looks, this and that, I want to talk to her more. Whatnot, shouldn't that be a question you ask on the front end if that's really a deal breaker for you? And I think personally it's a rhetorical question because you're never going to get the truth. You're never going to hear about the one night stand. I mean, if you got one that's going to tell you that, then definitely leave her alone.
You said if she tell you the truth, leave her alone.
If she tells you about all of that, man, if she volunteers information, you need to go ahead and get rid of her. I mean, I'm real honest. Does she ask you yours? Are you going to go into that? Because I'm going to tell you it's none of your business. That's my answer.
I look at it like this. When you say that if you're serious about her, you should want to know on the front end. See, my thing, and this happened with me and my woman, like it started out casual. It was extremely casual. So I wasn't thinking about long term. It took her a while. It took her a while to even get in long term category or territory, because I was out here like I was about to come up with a name. I ain't gonna give you another name.
Say Homer Simpson.
Yeah, I was out there like Homer Simpson, but no, I was out there. I had quite a few women I was messing with and doing some things with, but you know, she was solid. She was solid. So you know, the other ones start gradually falling off, and I started gradually going out less and to not at all, to where I was just like, hey. And then once they turned into a relate, I mean, we was like, I'd known her for a year before it really, you know, got all the way there. Like, okay, we in a relationship and it's serious, and you're the only woman I'm messing with. So with men, I in my opinion, when a man is operating the way he's supposed to operate, it should take a while. I think even, I mean, unless you just really know that this is what you want. But if you come into it with a mindset of, this is what I want a real relationship, I want to be in a monogamous, committed relationship, you just come to that woman just putting all your cards out there on the table. It's like, nah.
I mean, you don't necessarily have to have that discussion. I'm not sitting up saying you got to come at it from that standpoint. All I'm saying is, I would tell my son, he's 17, I tell him, go out with intention. Whatever that intention is, you always need to have intention when you go out and when you go after something. Everything needs to be intentional. So, you know, and definitely with women, especially the more dangerous the dating market gets.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know, how do you approach women that, you know, you're saying you're looking for a wife? Do you approach women like, hey, I'm looking for a wife?
Nah, it's in conversation. So I always believe, because I don't lead with that. And if they watch the podcast and they see that or whatever, they just know. But it's in conversation, because if you start telling women what it is that you want and what you're looking for, then they'll start trying to conform to that. And I dated a narcissistic chick before, and that almost destroyed me. So what I'm saying is that it's the level of just, like I said, I peep a lot of stuff. So if you start talking to different women, you know the type of woman. We know that really fast. The chick that you know just to jump off, and the chick you know that, okay, this is wifey material right here. So you can peep that real easily. And so that's the way I roll. And the ones that I look at and be like, oh, that's wifey material, then I'm taking more interest in it. I'm having more conversation with it. I'm trying to see if we're in alignment on different core values that we have. And then we progress from there. And that's how it is. And so,
but when does the body count come up?
Body count will come up, which it hasn't come up yet with anybody I've dated. Well, I'll say one. This girl I dated a little bit, but that was my friend though, and I just asked her. But it will come up the minute I know this is the woman that I want to be with. And I mean, like literally, like that's me right there. Then we're gonna talk about it. I'm like, so how many guys have you? And it'll start off just like this. You know, I don't really care about it as far as it caused an impact to me, but I really want to know what I'm dealing with. How many dudes have you been with? And then, like he said, watch them squirm to see, because they're going to tell the truth. They're going to be like, oh, I've been with 6 guys. I've been 10 guys. I lost count. Now, when you start saying you lost count, then I'm like, because I talked to a girl before that said,
come on, man. It don't matter if she lost count. You're going to cultivate something into her.
No, I want to know what mine is.
Hold on.
So the main thing is I'm a sapiosexual. If you lost count, that means that you're not even aware. I'm not even attracted to people that don't think. So I
need to run the tape back, because you're gonna
cultivate
and pull something out of her that she ain't never been before through the power of your love. That was your argument. That was your argument on the tape.
You're talking about it's not that, oh, one little detail about the woman is who I'm gonna marry. It's about all this stuff coming into alignment. So he's talking about, when does this come out as far as marrying, and he said, when you tell somebody that you tell every woman you're looking for a wife. So when we talk about that, it's the fact of simply saying, listen, if you lost count, that means you're not self-aware. So that's a turnoff for me. I'm a very cerebral type of dude. So I'll be like, you don't even think. So that's not even attractive to me. You haven't, first of all, clearly you haven't been through therapy, which I said is number one, that because if you've been through therapy, you would have been unpacking that. They would have talked about your trauma when you were 5 years old. If you were molested when you were 8 years old, you're going to be unpacking that stuff that caused you. Because the only reason why a woman would have lost count is if she blacks out in sexual experiences because of the trauma, which happened when you watch the movie Precious. When Precious was blacking out, is because a lot of women, I have homegirls that talk about that. And the reason why I said lost count is because
there's some hoes out here too, bro. Let's just keep that shit above.
That's true. Exactly.
That's loose with it.
Exactly.
And they've always been here, and they always gonna be here.
Exactly.
This, if we're gonna teach, if we got a platform and we got young guys watching, man, honestly, I hate to be crass, but you're gonna ask this question after I assume you've already had sex with her. You're thinking about her being your wife. You probably already had unprotected sex with her. You probably this, lick that. You done did everything. That's a question you should ask before you do all of that.
100%.
That's what if it's a very important, then important questions get asked on the front end. If you're not asking important questions on the front end, then that's a flaw in your vetting process. I'm not attacking you. I'm just
saying, you can't attack me because I'm not even planning on having sex with the girl until I get married. So
I mean that's now, but we talking about your past, and you brought it up.
Oh, in the past, I didn't even care. That's what I'm saying. I said in the past, I did not care. Remember, I've only been married one time. So in the past, I did not care. So the other chicks that I've messed around with throughout the years, I could care less if she's been with. The more she done been with, the easier it's gonna be for me. That's how I looked at it. So you want to keep it a buck. That's my frame of mind. So I'm saying my wife.
Right.
So, one time.
So if I hold on real quick, if I understand the timeline right, you've been flying straight, born again virgin for at least 1 year now.
1 year.
1 year. Okay. How you handling that, man? That's
hard.
Tough.
So it's hard. So like it's been some challenges along the way. So it's been some getting close to it and playing around with it and doing all that stuff with a chick. But it's like
hold on, bro.
Yeah, man.
You've been getting close to it and playing around with it. I mean,
because I'm telling you, I'm gonna reform. Listen, nigga, we're gonna keep it real.
You licking nipples but not going all the way. Like what's going on?
You get the touching and doing all that. Be like, all right, man, let me move. I can't do this. I can't do it.
How many of them stick around after that?
A couple of them, because it's not that many. Like it's been like 2 girls that I, hung out. Like I'm so busy, and so last year I said, let me take a break and I had a really close friend, and me and her been friends for years, and I said, all right, let me see if there's something with us since we've been so close and so cool with it, and so that's what happened with her. But it's like
I'll say this: I got to run. I got an appointment. Bernard, I appreciate you for letting me come on, but I'll say this before I go. At the end of the day, they're not going to tell you the truth. And I, as a leader or the leader of my situations, whatever I'm in, I've always had the philosophy of I'm not going to ask you something that I refuse to answer. That's for real. I wouldn't ask you something. I wouldn't ask you to do something that I haven't personally done or wouldn't do myself.
Why you refuse to answer? Just go on and stand in and look.
I'm not standing in that. That's none of her damn business. That's the answer. And honestly, in the 21st century, I think it's something that brothers should probably get up off of. Because if you get the real answer, you really don't want it. You don't want it. It won't matter if it was one. Sometimes it's worse if it was just one. Have you ever talked about that? If it was just one dude and that motherfucker got this, if he got a brain, sometimes it could be worse if it's just one.
Fact. So that one dude, it depends on how deep he was digging.
It was depending on how deep he was digging. Hey man, shit. And I say this on my way out. A lot of these chicks not even losing their virginity to dudes now. They
losing chicks. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Popping these streets, man. So, maybe that's something that should be brought in because she could still be a perv. I'm about to go, man. I'm going.
All right.
Go ahead.
All right, thanks, Big Mike. Big Mike drop, everybody. Appreciate you.
Man. Hey, man, Bernard, man. Peace, brothers.
Yeah, peace. Jockey's Retro said having most of us men lost count. Come on. We've talked about that. I mean, I haven't. I know my exact number. Yeah. But here's the thing. A guy sleep around with a lot of chicks. A woman, for the most part, if a guy can get a lot of girls, women look at him as something to get. Like they view him as more valuable. A woman sleep around with a lot of men, she loses that value, and it just is what it is. That's just the double standard. Men and women are wired different. We really can't change that. Ace in Spades asked a question, says, ask him how many exactly it's too many bodies. We kind of covered this, but they trying to nail you to the cross on that one. So go ahead. You got to answer. He
I'm
asked.
trying to see how many would I say would scare the crap out of me. God, it got to be some. See, the difference in that, even I thought about that when I even threw out the proverbial 25, 35. Then my mind to start talking about how far removed were you from that and how many were. So my brain, it's kind of hard to give that number because if a lot of it was done when you were in college, if you had 30 dudes in college, or it's say 50, I'm gonna say something extreme, have 50 dudes while you were in college, but you've been abstinent for the last 15 years, then that don't matter to me as much. Even though I wouldn't, the number 50, if it was spread out all the way up to 42, and we're 43 and she's 42 now, then I'll be like, God, you just been smashing dudes, all this, like it'll be a different thing. But if it was like, I'm so far removed from it. That's why the healing journey is so important. So it's hard for me to answer that number because it's all based upon what her journey was. And I look at things from a holistic approach. So unfortunately, I can't just throw a number out there.
All right.
Unless I throw something crazy like 200 men or 150 guys, and I'm like,
well, I said when I was doing a monologue that yes, I had sex with a woman and she had been with she said over 300. I think it was, I can't remember if it was 2 or 3. I think she said 300, but it was automatically condom on, casual sex. That's it. That's it. So obviously we know and understand that there's a such thing as a woman being out there to the point to where she's eliminated. She's eliminated
automatically. Automatically feel like when it gets to that excessiveness, that's excessiveness. Like it's like, God, like what have you been like? Or have you been in sex trafficking? Like what is your story? But I have a homegirl that was sex trafficked, so I would deal with her from a different perspective. You know, she's a really good friend, and she came on the podcast. She talked about that, but she don't know her number because she was sex. So I could never try to destroy her if it was something that we started trying to date or something, and I was like, oh no, it wouldn't be that way. I would have to handle her very gently and not make that the big issue. You know, so this is, I don't want to destroy nobody.
RX-O in the building says, greetings, Bernard, as an actual virgin. And I always appreciate your transparency, the RX-O. Most men wouldn't come out and say that. So I do appreciate your transparency on that one. He says, greetings, Bernard, as an actual virgin, I don't receive a positive feeling when I hear the phrase born again virgin. I don't know if he used that term, but I use it. Did you use it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, yeah, that was me that said that. So yeah, I mean, I use that term sarcastically, you know, as an insult because I technically don't believe when people say it. You know, I never believe it. So
no, and I don't even think like that. Even though I took a vow to abstinence, is because every experience is still right here. Every experience I have to fight, even in my abstinence. Every experience is a part of me and has framed the way I think. And so I would never even want to say I'm a born again virgin because I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I have experiences that live in my mind, my soul, and my body. And so yeah, I'm with you, RX.
Many moons ago when I was a Christian, prior to me getting married, there was a moment in my life where I was, you know, trying to be a good religious church boy and everything. So I was trying to do the no sex thing, and it's extremely difficult. And that's why, you know, unless somebody is just wired a certain way, because I suppose there are people who just don't get horny like that, or they can just get horny and then think about something else and then it go away. But that, I know that ain't possible for me. I got to get one off every day. So it just is what it is. And so I guess I don't mean to ask too personal of a question.
Let me tell you something. Ain't that too personal for me.
All right, so okay, if we I mean, I think me and most people are skeptical of your born again virginness, but assuming that is true, as a man, how how are you truly dealing with that? I mean, listen, I mean, if I pull up your search history on your phone or on your laptop, I mean, it's gonna pull up all kinds of porn sites. Like, what's the deal, man?
I never dealt with porn anyway. So porn was
Okay.
nothing. I told you I'm a real dude, so I get it in real life. So that would bother me.
But you're not getting it now.
I know, but I'm just saying that would not be a part of my journey from that. So I'm just saying, because you brought up porn, so if you looked at my history, you can look at my history. It would never be any porn thing. It's just not my thing. But my situation is, throughout the last year, yes, I've masturbated. I've masturbated throughout the past year, and I didn't have to look at porn to do it. I have enough references in my mind and experiences to get one off just by rehashing a memory that I've had. So it is hard. It's not something that's easy. It's something I'm really unpacking with God and saying, God, is this even natural to be doing at 43 years old? It don't even make sense to me, to be honest with you. The only thing that makes sense to me is the fact that I do have to operate in the level of discipline to kill this Goliath that has been taking advantage of me throughout the years. That I do know. And I do know that God told me that I'll never be faithful to my wife unless I first become faithful to him. That's irrefutable. That's something that God told me before I got married the first time. And so I said that I have to get into this place of discipline to where I consecrate my heart, my soul, my body, so that I can kill that Goliath that caused me to step outside of my marriage and be able to get into the relationship that God wants me to be in with my wife.
All right. I asked all of my questions, and this brother, shout out to this brother, and I'm probably gonna get your name wrong. Laterras or Whitfield. His channel is Dear Future Wifey. And again, he came up, he answered the questions, he stood in it. There was some things that, you know, I know y'all still don't believe. I'm skeptical, but hey, I give them.
You can't make unbelievers believers. I ain't here for that.
Right on. Yeah. I give you all the credit and props in the world for coming up and having a conversation. You're a real one for that, because we didn't call it out plenty of simp pander bear types over here. That's kind of what we do.
That's good.
Because the guys who be on that book. Hey, hold on. I was about to wrap up the show, but my main man, Game Changer, in the building. So I do want to hear what he got to say real quick. But Uneducated Lame in the building says, for Freedman's Journal, for absolutely destroying the chat today. Awesome show. Freedman's Journal. What did he do in the chat room? I must have missed something. Shout out to Freedman's Journal. I don't know what he did to destroy the chat. Oh, I think he probably been doing that. Cultivate the channel. Hit the like button. Right on.
Yeah, like it, share it.
Shout out to Freedman's Journal, and shout out to Game Changer. Go ahead. You got the floor. You got the mic.
Okay, thanks. I didn't hear much of the show, so don't really know what the brother's stance is, but welcome to the show.
Thank you,
brother. You're welcome. But yeah, as far as the body count thing goes, I really don't care about a woman's body count overall. To me, I don't see much difference between a woman who's been with 50 guys or a woman who's been with a really big guy 50 times. It's really, the same. Some of them come with techniques that they learn from others. So it's not really, a concern to me. However, as it applies to feminism and things like that, I do think that free sex and sexual liberation, hookup culture, whatever you want to call it, I mean, it's just repackaged things. This is just a technique to get men on board, because feminism at the surface, it sounds like you're losing something. But then when, you just say free sex, people perk up like Scooby-Doo and say, oh, yeah. Feminism doesn't seem so bad. Let's do that. I don't have to wait for marriage, and I get more and a greater variety. Well, not necessarily more, but you get a greater variety of it. So it does seem like a ploy in that regard, which is why I'm very skeptical of trying to receive it in that way.
Well, let me run this by you, and I hesitate to do this because I have asked him a lot of questions, and he have answered them. And some of the answers were satisfying answers, some of them not so much, but he did answer all the questions. But I just want to show you, Game Changer, and anybody who came in late, what prompted this whole conversation. I was doing a reaction video to a 28-second clip. So for those of you that made it in late and Game Changer, who's on the panel late, I'm going to play the clip again in Game Changer. You can react and talk to him after this. I'm going to roll the. I normally say not so beautiful bean footage. I'll say beautiful bean footage because he up here. I'm being nice. So I'll roll the beautiful bean footage, and then let's get Game Changers reaction or questions to the brother.
The reason why I don't care about a woman's past, a woman can say she had 25, 35 sexual partners. I don't care about all that. They don't intimidate me because I always say the version of her that I'm going to get, no man has ever had. Because I know how to cultivate that woman. Oh, boy. You preaching. I know how to provide something in your life that no man has ever been able to provide. True. I know how to extract and cultivate something out of you that no man has been able to cultivate out of you.
Oh, damn. Y'all couldn't even see it. Well, y'all could hear it, but my bad. Yeah. I thought y'all could.
Out of woman's past, a woman can say she had 25, 35 sexual partners. I don't care about all that. They don't intimidate me because I always say the version of her that I'm going to get, no man has ever had. Because I know how to cultivate that woman. Oh, boy. You preaching. I know how to provide something in your life that no man has ever been able to provide. True. I know how to extract and cultivate something out of you that no man has been able to cultivate out of you.
Okay. All right. Granted, what do you feel? Like, what do you feel that you cultivate out of a woman that none of the others did? I don't really look at it as a competition, but I mean, go for it.
No, what I was simply saying is that the woman that I would get, that I would marry, that I would never use that as a deterrent. If God desired for me to marry said woman, that her sexual past wouldn't intimidate me, that if it's far removed, she's been healed from it, she's been through therapy from it, she's understood what it was, that I wouldn't look at her then and disqualify her because she's been with 25, 35 guys.
No, I get it. Because, once again, I don't disqualify women for that reason. But I mean, the cultivate part is what I don't get.
So what I was talking about cultivate is that when I look at relationships happen, they fail. So whatever happened with those other guys or whoever she did, whether it was situationship or relationship or even marriage, if she's been married twice or had one husband or whatever, that I would look at this woman as being new to me and be able to tap into her and find out things in her that I believe that other guys didn't find out about her. And that's why the relationship didn't last. I say I want to be married till death do we part. So whoever God brings to my life, I'm going to tap into her on a level and a frequency that I believe no other man has tapped into her in order to get to death do we part as my wife.
Now, let me ask you this. You've never successfully done this, I'm assuming, correct?
Right.
Why?
Because I've never been the man.
Why the belief? Because okay, let's put it let's break it down like this, right? You have people out there like Steph Curry and all the other people that play basketball, right? LeBron James, right? You have people like that, and every now and again they miss a shot. Now, me never playing professional basketball and actually never making a shot in that regard, I think it would be arrogant of me to say I'm going to make that shot. And it's also like I'm downing the people who didn't, even though they actually had the opportunity to do so. You see where I'm going with this?
Sort of, but the difference in that is not based. What it is that I'm becoming that basketball player. So it's not that
they are that. Like, see, here's the thing: you're becoming the husband that they already had, and they failed. But you say that the husband I become will be superior to the one that they were.
No, it's saying that who I am. So first of all, I had to get healed from my own stuff. We can't just omit that I had to get healed from some stuff in this journey that I'm on. And that was a 30-second clip from a overall 1 hour and a half episode. I'm becoming that man. I've been on the work and journey and healing and therapy and all that for the last 2 years to become that person. That can actually get to death do we part. I was married before. I got a divorce 2 weeks shy of 10 years. Me and him got divorced in the same year, 2015. Mine was December 29th. So I'm 6 years divorced. Going through that journey, I had to start unpacking things in my own life that sabotaged my marriage. And so when I say it's not based on arrogance, it's based on healing. And why get married if you believe it's going to end in divorce anyway? So I should just stay single. I'm saying the version of me that I will be when I say I do to that woman, and the version I will get from her will be something. She will get somebody that no one has ever had from me, and she will be something that she has never been to another guy. That is what I stand on. And it has nothing to do with nobody else. It has something to do with me and my wife to get to death do we part. Or in divorce, because I just repeated the same cycle.
Okay, I understand.
Fair enough.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I normally shut the show down at about the 3-hour mark. We got Edward Anderson
time.
here. We got a little time. We got a little time. I don't know how. I'm sorry, I keep messing up the name.
Yeah, I got a couple minutes.
Laterras, okay, you got a couple minutes. Okay, cool. Go ahead, Ed. You got it.
All right, so I haven't listened to a lot of the show, and quite frankly, I'm not gonna be how I normally am. So, and that's a good thing, So, my question to you, sir, is this: I'm 35 years old, and so that gives you I'm a millennial. From what I understand, with my grandparents and other folks that came from the silent generation and boomer generation, my question to you is this: what, in your opinion, what kept these marriages together? What made them get closer to the till death do you part? I have my thoughts on what that is, but I'm curious as to what you think this lacking today.
The interesting thing is that, and it's crazy when we talk about that older generation, because they were more committed to the marriage. They just would never get divorced, no matter what. Grandpa could have 3 different kids down the street, and grandma would just overlook it. Sometimes she even took care of the kids, as you saw in the movie Fences. They just take care of the kids. And so they dealt with and put up with more than what we do nowadays. Nowadays, divorce isn't hard for us. We'll be like, all right, we're finna go get divorced and go do what we gotta do. They were more solid in legacy. They stayed together for the kids. We'll get a divorce, care less. Kids be like, hey, it may be a little harder for us to get divorced, but we'll say we can bounce back from that because we've seen it so much. Even when you look at it from a career standpoint, they stayed on their jobs longer than we do. They'll be at a job for 20, 30, 40 years working at the post office, only have one job and leave. Well, you saw that even in their relationships, staying with one woman until they die. So it's the whole culture that they had versus what we have now. We even in this ADHD generation, to where if you dating one girl and you like, man, she got on my nerve, we got in an argument and she getting on my, dang, I'm on Instagram, who this chick? Oh shoot, pull up. You know what I'm saying? So we got too much stuff at our fingertips that causes us to have ADHD, where we're looking and seeing whatever. We don't have a lot of staying power. We don't value what marriage is anymore.
Hold on, because I want him to talk, because there's some things I'm picking up here, but go ahead.
And so what I ended up doing in my last episode, in my last season, is I went and broke down the marriage vows. I had different guests come on, and we went through each vow. And I said, when y'all were challenged with that vow, what did your marriage look like? And certain people end up getting divorced. I had some people that were single, some people that made it through. And so what I've been trying to do, because my whole podcast is my personal journey, is trying to learn. I'm trying to be a student of this thing called marriage. I did a TED talk a couple of months ago about most marriages end around the 7-year mark. That's studies. So why do they end at 7-year mark?
So rather than, I'm not going to throw out statistics, I'm going to ask you your personal experience.
That's my personal.
Out of all of these divorces, the ones that do end up in divorces that you encounter, how many times are the men filing versus the women?
It's most of the women. It's most times.
Okay,
women.
So there's a reason why I'm saying that. Now, everything that you say, because I am paying attention to what you say, I just want to highlight, you say we, but then you talk about what the dudes are doing. When it comes to the dudes looking at Instagram, dudes are doing, you did that a couple, like at least 3 times.
Because I'm talking about me.
So you're talking about what you did.
I'm talking about my fault is saying that as a man, that's what I did.
Oh, okay. Because I'm thinking you're just like broadcasting that. That's like,
no, we can talk about some women. We can talk about that all day. But
no. I'm not. I'm just saying. Okay, so I didn't know you was talking about what your journey was. Because what I was asking, you're asking your journey versus what other people did. Because there's something to be said about what they did. As far as some of them were just too lazy to file for divorce, they just didn't do the paperwork. But for the most part, what you said was right about the older generation. My thing is, and this is what we'll get back to. So in your, not only statistics, but your experience, because statistically, the women are filing in across the board, the women are filing more. In the black community in particular, the women are filing 80%. So as far as the men are staying through all it. If the chick get fat, the dudes will cheat.
Yeah.
Granted. But they stay. Now, and that's no different than what those dudes did in the past.
Back in the day,
where they would do goofy stuff. Now, dudes ain't having side babies as much today as they were. Because women just are not going to tolerate that. But dudes can kind of escape that depending on the value they have. They bring to the table. So we're agreeing there. My thing is the common denominator is it's the duty, even with Devon Franklin and Megan Good. Like O'Shea, there's a video that talks about she did not want to be a submissive woman. That I blame Devon Franklin because he didn't vet right. So
I didn't know that leaked out that she said that she didn't want to be a submissive woman.
O'Shea just got the video up, and he said that shit with her right there, with him right there.
Dang.
So he didn't even say the interview. Go check that video, O'Shea. It just launched. But what I'm saying is, because I didn't have that either, and I said in my thing she wanted to be free spirited, and that's fine, but that's not compatible with marriage like that. But my point is, it's the women that have changed. Yes, dudes have changed a little bit too, but it's not a we thing. The men are still, for the most part, committed marriage. And by the way, there's a lot more men that want to be married. Black men married to black women, but when you ask the women about marriage, they talk about all of these proposals they got, but none that they're taking. Then it becomes a commentary on, well, the men are not making six figures and all of that. I mean, you know, we could argue materialistic crap, but that's the excuses they use. My point is, I'm not here to just blame the women and say it's all the women's fault. But what we do as black men is we have this thing where we kind of hold ourselves to a level of accountability to basically make up for the lack of unaccountability the females have. We have accountability, obviously, but it takes two to do this thing. That's all I'm saying.
Well, let me say this, because it was something that sort of
shout out to the lead attorney.
Shout out to the lead attorney. Always cool. Lead attorney come through. Shout out. One thing that's very important is that when Laterras, our Whitfield, finally got his name right. When Laterras said that previous generation, they used to stick with things. They would get married. They'll be married for 30, 40 years, or they, will work a job for 30, 40 years. And now everything has changed. The culture has changed. I think men on YouTube, which shout out to you, 80,000 subs, making an argument that implies that it's okay for a woman to be sleeping around with a lot of dudes, and that's okay. I think what'd you say? Well, okay, it came off that way.
No, again, but say what I said though. If you say what I said, if you don't put
you don't care about a woman's past.
That Laterras don't care about a woman's past.
Okay, all right. Somebody who has a channel, let's just go in the face. You probably got some brothers over there, but your channel is probably mostly women. I mean, it's called Dear. It's okay. It's called Dear Future Wifey.
Damn.
Somebody with a channel called Dear Future Wifey saying, "I don't care about a woman's past." You're contributing to that problem that you identified.
Trust me, them 35 dudes that happened before that video came out.
I mean, okay, so I'm saying, so
35 happened before that video.
So absolutely. So let me ask you this question real quick. Do you believe in a concept called the imprint?
Yes, about women when you have sex with somebody, which is what animals do. Wolves are best known for that. Of saying that when you pair bond with somebody
for humans.
Yes.
Do you believe 100%. So? You do believe that applies to humans?
Yes.
Okay, so I will argue most women don't understand. Have you ever discussed that with women?
No, because I haven't really even studied it myself.
Okay, I say that because I first learned of it of a woman, Alexis A. Tyler, in 2010, and I've learned from it. Then I've learned from it from other dudes. My point is, you said yourself, you have 90% women, 80,000 subs. even just pointing that out for them to maybe look it up on their own. Because here's the thing, we're saying that we don't care about a woman's past. Even if I say that doesn't matter, that those challenges can be overcome. If you don't have the tool, I'm not talking you, I'm talking people in general. If people don't have the tools to even understand that, then how can they the human mind cannot overcome anything it doesn't comprehend. So if it's an idea that doesn't enter into it, it can never, that's what you're most vulnerable to. So I would argue that we know dudes don't know nothing. Some do, they do kind of, but not really about the imprint. But the women, I believe feminism has purposely removed that from the equation in order to have women not really understanding how sex affects them psychologically,
I
mentally.
totally believe that. I totally agree with that.
Okay, so you said you didn't talk about it because you don't know. You got
I talk about even deeper. I talk about abstinence.
Yeah. But see, and that's when I come to you and say, I don't think that's practical, but that's a good goal. But I think a lot of women talk about celibacy and stuff and they lying to themselves. So
but they don't. There's a lot of women I know that's even on my channel. They've been absent 10 years, 5 years, 3 years. That's why I say I can't just cast a big net and just say that everybody's lying who's saying that they're practicing abstinence.
Oh, not everybody, but about 8 out of 10. But if you start to really dive in, I mean, I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying, just to add in there, the reason why your past, number one, past behavior is the greatest indication of future behavior. I think dudes have a certain level of arrogance and delusion. Not you, but I mean like Devon Franklin, for example. Megan Good, I believe a woman owes you transparency. And I'm not saying they got to give you all your body count, but I'm talking about how they act. Megan Good, I believe the stuff that Megan Good said in that interview nobody saw, I believe Megan Good was upfront with him about how she was. She may not have said, I'm not submitting, I'm not doing this, but she probably was very transparent about how she was with her life. Just like how Will Smith, Jada Pinkett was transparent about who she was. To anybody reasonably should be able to look at that and judge it. I'm not saying they're bad people, but I'm saying that if you're a free-spirited person and you're a pastor, you thinking you go convert her into a traditional structure of a marriage, you're a fool. That's why my angle was to blame Devon, because he didn't vet right. Same thing with Will. Will got married to a couple of people. He went out of his way to choose Jada. And so my point is, so I'm not here to absolve men of their responsibility for vetting. But my thing is, your message, whether intended or not, and I will go into it's not intended, you'll have dudes that they want to be married. This is Kevin's big, right? So they're going to buy in the narratives and they look for people's permission. And so when you say a past doesn't matter, I'm saying even if you believe that, there's still certain things you need to understand about the woman you have in front of you. And you as a man, like that thing you said about what we have together, nobody else has. I don't believe in that. I believe the only thing with that, this exception to what I just said, with what you said in regarding to that, is sexual formatting. And 95% of men don't know how to sexually format a woman, which means overwrite that imprint to them. That's the only thing that matters as far as female nature. They can say they are Christian. They can say whatever. We got a whole bunch of Christian feminists out here. Kevin Samuels talking about that. We know how it is. And so the things that even would get you closer to what you're talking about, I don't know your channel, but I'm just saying I don't see talked about amongst people that will be pro marriage. Shout out to blackandmarriedwithkids.com. Very big website. They don't talk about that. That's all I'm saying. All
right. We're gonna pass it to Laterras, our Whitfield. Let you get your last words out here. And Gail, I just dropped a link to his channel. Now I know 97% of the chat ain't rocking with him, but the 3% that is, y'all go subscribe to him. He came over here and hung out with us. He didn't have to do this. So I've done plenty of reaction videos to plenty of people. They normally don't pull up. He pulled up. He stood in it. He had his say. So he a real one for that. So let's show him some love and respect. If you know, I know some of y'all ain't rocking with him, but those of you that are, his link, Gail, I just put his link in the chat right there. Go ahead and spam it out for the last few minutes. Let's at least send him some subs, because he a real one from coming over here having a conversation.
Appreciate you.
Well, real quick, Sodomy and Chicken says calling him a simp would be an insult to see. Come on, y'all, chill. Calling him a simp would be an insult to Sim. He sounds like a gump. Shout out to Coach Greg Adams. Sounds like he's approaching why is he saying cuckoldry? I think he spelled it wrong. Okay. Cuckoldry level. Okay. All right. We gonna move. We gonna
That's
move
interesting
on.
when I read stuff from people, and his name is Sodomy and Chicken.
Yeah, sodomy and chicken. Yeah, absolutely.
That's you have no place to say nothing. Sodomy and Chicken. You just be quiet for the rest
All
of
right.
your
All right.
The chat is flagrant.
Yeah. Oh yeah. My chat is vicious.
A lot of our chats are flagrant. Don't worry about the chat. It don't count if it ain't verbal.
Yeah.
But here it is. That's a link to his channel right there. Gail dropping it. Y'all go and subscribe to him. But you got the last words. Go ahead.
So basically, first of all, thank you, B, for having me on here. Like I said, I just like opening up conversation and discussion. I realize that we have the real pandemic is the broken Black family. And so the real reality is whatever I can do, I feel like I'm serving a purpose and open up dialogue and conversations. I don't need everybody to agree with me. That'd be impossible. Jesus Christ couldn't even have everybody agree with him. And so I just want to have healthy conversations. That's what I'm doing on my podcast. I bring healthy marriages on. I hear people who have people that are transparent, didn't get it right, on talking about it. Last year, I even sponsored 3 couples to get married, where I did this. I paid for this marriage called Black Love Matters ceremony. And so it's all about marriage for me. And it's all about healing for me. It's all about restoration for me. And so when you look at the woman who's had her past or whatnot, or even men, is saying that, hey, listen, let's do the right thing. Let's get healed from our brokenness, because brokenness don't do nothing but cut. And that's all it is about with me. But thank y'all so much for having me on here. And you know,
may I ask a quick question?
Go ahead, Edward.
No, that was game changer.
Down there.
Yeah, no worries. So of the 80,000, 90% women, 72,000 women, has anyone presented themselves to you as wife material?
Oh boy.
A lot of them slide in my DMs as such. But
have you considered?
I've thought about a couple of, but it's not. I mean, they don't. It's very specific what I'm looking for.
Do they panel? Do they page be private?
Hold on. Hey. Look, game changer. Go down this line.
Yeah. So what qualifications did they not meet?
I never share that with women, because I don't want them to start becoming that.
Smart man.
Yeah,
No. But you want them to become better wives, and if they were insufficient as wives, then wouldn't it be?
No, it's not wives. I'm talking about my wife. So
I understand. So they don't qualify to be your wife, which means that they don't qualify to be the wives of others.
No, they do. They do though. They do.
Y'all can. They don't qualify to be his wife, but y'all can have them.
So I promise. I got
no game changer. No, for real. Let me say this real quick. I want to be specific, because I said this before.
Yeah.
I said that I meet a lot of wives, a lot of quality women. You got to think that the exposure that I have, I meet a lot of great women.
Just not great enough to marry. So
not my wife, not great enough to be with me, and it's not great enough. It's not based on greatness.
Exactly. So you're saying, hold on, you're saying that men should have lower standards than you.
Nope, it's not standards.
But you're saying that they don't meet your standards, but they should meet the standards of other men.
It's not standards. So let's break this down. Quote me correctly, game changer. I'm saying that they're not my wife. If every woman is supposed to be my wife, I'll be a polyamorous nigga right now. You know what I'm saying? The reality is that they're not my wife. I'm wise enough to say that's a great woman. She cool. She got everything that I'm looking for, but certain things that's in alignment that we're not in alignment with. It's a certain type of woman that has to walk alongside of me just by what I do for a living. So you can be a great woman, but she may not be the wife for me. That's why I said specific.
No, absolutely. That may be. I promise. Right. I promise this is real quick. I promise, and I know I be. Quick question: Do a lot of these women where their page is private?
Sometimes, yeah, when they slide.
Would you like it if when women were shooting your shot, they unprivate their page? So you could just you actually would you would think that would be good advice to give women that are shooting their shot at a particular.
I said that to them.
Okay. I say that because there's a guy by the name of Mr. Let Go that made that point and he got cussed out. But I want to ask somebody that was in it. Yeah. Oh, I'll send you the video. You want it?
Women that slide in my DMs, I say I don't talk to a ghost. So I don't know if you're a dude or not. I don't know what you are. So I got to fact check you. I got to go through a whole bunch of posts and read comments.
No, absolutely. And this guy is completely your speed. If you look him up, he'll be like, yeah, this is your type
I know. I've been in Clubhouse with Mr. Let Go.
Okay, so yeah. So and by the way, last thing I'm gonna say is, yeah, I was looking at your channel. Oh yeah, with Kevin Samuels blowing up. Oh yeah, your channel is great position. I won't be surprised if your channel don't blow up.
That's the opposite of a Kevin Samuels, so I don't know.
Well, because if you're talking about people that want to get married,
Kevin Samuels is just teaching how these.
This is your lane. Yeah, but anyway.
What you say, JC? GC, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, Kevin Samuels seems to be teaching these women how to become wife material, and you are saying that they're just wife material, just not your wife material.
No, I'm saying my channel is about my personal journey. Game Train, you're gonna quote me correctly. I said my channel is about my personal journey. Yeah, that's all it is.
Okay,
all right.
Okay,
one more game changer. Y'all killing me. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, does it say more about, you or the sample population of women that out of 72,000, none were compatible?
Compatible to be my wife?
Yes.
Don't you know it only takes one woman to be my wife?
And out of 72,000, you haven't found that one.
You think I done talked to 72,000 women? I ain't got time in the world to talk to.
What I'm saying is you're visible to 72,000 women.
100%. That don't mean that we're visible to each other.
Right to you.
I'm visible to 72,000 people, but it doesn't mean that we're visible to each other, which means if I would have to.
They haven't made themselves visible to you.
You said what?
They haven't made themselves visible to you.
Could have been. No, you're right. But 72,000, it'd be kind of hard for me to meet all these women and vet 72,000 people.
What I'm getting at is that you are saying that you're this guy and you're looking for this particular wife type material. 100%. Now these women are supporting your message. However, they're not presenting themselves as a wife type material to you.
They are.
What do you think? Okay, so then these women are making themselves visible to you.
No, I'm saying the ones that have. Let me break this down. Again, I meet a lot of women that are 1,000% wives. I could, if I have homeboys that fit with that person, I could put my stamp of approval and say, dude, that's a real woman right there. And I have hooked up people before and be like, that's somebody you need to get with. 1,000%.
Have you done that?
Yes.
Okay.
All the time.
Okay.
Or guys, or girls bring their homeboys by me, which I had an episode about that last season, where they be like, "Hey, I'm dating this guy. I need you to come talk to Laterras." They come through, me and the dude chop it up. Well, we cool, blah blah blah. We chop it up, we talk. It be like, all right, and then they married. They got married, met each other last year around March, and got married in November. I'm just saying. So that's why I said. It's a journey. It's hours and hours of content with me talking to people and me living my life. So it's literally me going through my own personal journey, and God is just guiding me through my own personal journey. Certain stuff in my mind, I wasn't even open to dating nobody long distance. At first, I wasn't even open to date nobody who didn't live outside of Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex until April came around last year, and I said, I need to open up my mind. I wouldn't even open to date a woman less than 5 years younger than me. So she had to be about 38. I'm 43. If she was much younger than that, I wasn't even attracted to that. I just opened my mind to be willing to date a woman that's 30. I said, all right, I'll go from 30 on up. So that's why I said it's my personal journey. I'm learning a lot. You know what I'm saying? The one thing that I haven't changed is willing not to marry a black woman. Like I got to have a black woman. That's what I feel. So, but I had all these different biases in my mind that where I was like, I just won't do it. And so that's why I said this is my own personal journey, and people are just learning from the overflow.
Got you. Okay.
All right. We gonna wrap it up right there. Again, brother Laterras, our Whitfield, dear future wife, he is his YouTube channel. I was just doing a reaction video. This was impromptu. We pulled up and we made it.
Yeah, somebody sent me a link and said, "Hey, is this your face right here?" I said, "Oh, that's me right there. How'd that get on there?" I didn't know it was a live video. I thought it was a video that was already recorded. I saw it was alive. I said, "Oh shoot, let me stop editing this video. I got to do." that's
Yeah,
why
hey,
people
I appreciate you coming through. But we about to wrap this thing up. Shout out to Oswald for the $10 super chat. Shout out to Leo Anthony, says he reiterating what I said. Respect to dude for coming up and giving his perspective. Absolutely,
Thank you,
absolutely.
Leo.
And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we are. I don't think it was no more super chats, but with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Peace.